Welcome back to Shell Stadium. Geelong and Adelaide getting ready for a start. Let's get down to Dipper, who's got a very special guest with him.
I certainly have, Anthony. I have Aaron here, and welcome to Shell Stadium. You are a Cat supporter, and it's your first time here.
Yeah, first time down here. Yeah, really cool.
You've been in the rooms and met the players?
Yeah, went down, had a chat to a couple of guys down there, and done a couple of speeches, and yeah, so like I said before, hopefully we can have a good one.
Now, you're back in Australia. You've been back for a couple of weeks, but you're heading off to England.
Yeah, leaving Tuesday, go to England to qualify for the British Open, and then come back for 4 weeks. So just a quick stint away, and hopefully I can play pretty good.
And for those people who like a bit of a punch, what are your chances?
Not bad. If I can play well in the qualifying, that'll help just increase the confidence to go to play in the British Open, and the British Open sort of game I like, hitting the knockdowns and the low shots and stuff like that.
Well, thanks for joining us on the boundary, mate. Best of luck, and go the Cats.
Yeah, go Catters.
It's been a big month for Dipper, for Aaron Baddeley. He's been in the company of Nicholas, Woods, Singh, and now Dipper.
Well, the match underway here at Shell Stadium.
You are just waxing lyrical at the start of the game.
Well, it should be a great game, and the Cats have got the first important centre clearance.
Clark's kick is excellent, and Mensch on the lead, accepting it.
Goal.
He might go for home. Bizzle's in the square, but it's going to sail over his head and through for a goal. So what a start for the Cats. And David Mensch has kicked more goals than any other forward for the Cats this year. And, well, he was sometimes maligned, but he had a fair crack last week.
Pretty good spirit too there. Players rushing from the defence, congratulating young David Clark, who was obviously involved in that passage of play. Adelaide have started with Brett James, Stengline, Vardy and Caven on the interchange bench, and Geelong have started with Spriggs, Cameron Mooney, Wajinski and Ling. Geelong go forward once again. The kick, an awkward one.
Ronnie.
Has that been paid? No. Ronnie Burns, hacked out of there by Hart, comes back towards centre wing where Kilpatrick will swoop on the ball, looks and steadies, and then drives it in towards centre half forward proper. Marking contest, punched away. At the fall of the ball is Bassett. Can he control it? Confronted by Bizzle. Opportunity there for Connell, then Bassett. Bassett's kick from pretty much a standing start. Out wide, Milburn jumped early. Spillage to the back. Ronnie Burns did that very, very nicely. Then handballed over the top. Kicked forward by Steinfort. Steinfort's kick will land at full forward. A chance for Geelong. The forwards putting enormous pressure on. Well done there by Snell. The ball spills out wide. And again, the Adelaide defenders can't break clear. Kilpatrick gathers. Runs away from Goodwin. Shoots for goal. Kilpatrick. The kick goes all the way and eventually off fingertips through for a behind to Geelong. They've got the first two scores of the match. Scholl having a bit of a dust-up behind play with Edwards, but Geelong lead 1-1, Adelaide yet to score.
And a lot of pressure put on Stephen King during the week. We saw him just at the last centre bounce, just palm it beautifully to Getty Hocking. But he has been told by the coach in no uncertain terms that he is due for a big match.
Well, the Cats have started very up.
And I think, Hutto, if you're an Adelaide Crows player, you would have expected this onslaught. I mean, you can't get vilified by one of your own, one of your great players of the club through the week and not respond. So they've just got to hang in there for the first quarter or so.
Well, Rashudo trying to barge through and did it successfully over McGregor's head. Crow couldn't take it. Graham under pressure. Scarlett takes his time, did well to get clear, and then kicks to a contest on the wing. Robran and Mensch. It'll be a battle worth looking at throughout the afternoon. This is Connell now after McLeod. Had a couple of options out wide. Pass on the way in to Welsh. Good spoil, good support from Graham for Scarlett. Robran following it up, got it out. Welsh going to the ground and his hand pass, as you saw, straight to King. He goes to the safety of the boundary, and it's over the line and out of bounds.
Ben Graham, who was confronted on a couple of occasions during the week after that tirade from Sam Newman. Ben Graham on the footy show on Channel 7, the Rex Hunt show, stood up grandly in protecting his players, and then again on Thursday night. But it's up to the 18 plus the 4 on the interchange bench now to tell the tale. Adelaide a chance here. Robran to Rashudo. Rashudo, great kick. Great kick, Mark Rashudo. Adelaide's first goal. Just a powerful player, Mark Rasciuto, in the midfield for Adelaide. And he just pumped that 55 metres through for Adelaide's first goal. Geelong lead 1-1, Adelaide 1 goal.
Yeah, it was a great conversion, no doubt about that, Ian, but it was Matthew Robin that got the ball back for them. So that's 1 all apiece now for Robin and Mensch, and some interesting matchups with Johnson, Kane Johnson, premiership star, up against Houlihan, who is one of their more productive forwards.
Well, they nullified each other at the middle. The catch getting it out of the centre at the moment. Clark, dangerous handball. And young Joel Corey went over the top of it. Very lucky to get a free kick. Went to ground, had a very impressive debut last week in his first game. 15 disposals. Played about 2.5 to 3/4. So he started his career well. Milburn going off the left in the end. Ronnie Burns might have to go for the mark. Eventually got support from Mensch. Snell was down. Goes again, Snell. Connell the tackler. Well done by Snell. Got it out in front of Hocking, who has time to steady and really should have done better. He'll be disappointed with that. And if he looks back at the tape, sees how much he missed by. He had plenty of time and space around him, Jared.
Yes, he did. You would expect him to put that through. But Jason Snell's an interesting one, Hutto. In the Cats' wins this season, he's kicked, I think it was 8 goals. In their losses, he's kicked just 1. Lynch has got similar stats. Gary Hocking also got similar stats. So it's those small players that when they play well in that forward 50 and produce some goals, generally determines whether or not Geelong come away with the 4 points.
Well, Snell's matched up against Nigel Smart today. Smart being used by Bassett on the way out. And a little proppy kick, but it's okay. Connell, who's, as always, has plenty of it, averaged 20 possessions a match throughout the year. He's had 4 today. Johnson spears the pass in, and Robin, who's obviously they're going to try and use on the way into attack.
Ben Hart
goes out wide. Couple of crows out there. As you said, Ben Hart roaming free. Can go for goal. Will go for goal. And is unsuccessful. So scores level at Shell Stadium after a pretty interesting opening 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Geelong have done well in centre bounces and got the ball into their forward 50. Should have kicked more goals, but some good signs also for Adelaide, who have their defence running, and it's a powerfully attacking defence.
Beautiful kick by Gary Hocking on the face of Houlihan. Smart running, smart, powerful running by Clark. His kick drops a little short. And Bassett in front of Bizzle has marked. Could have got the hand pass away to Connell, but went wider still. Out there for Adelaide. Now an opportunity for Connell once again.
Started well.
The kick came from Gallagher. Connell kicks the ball to half forward. At the front of the pack is Graham. Beautiful left foot kick. Robin punches the ball away in front of Gallagher and his immediate opponent Joel Corey, and it'll be thrown in about 50 metres around from the Geelong goal.
Just get the feeling, Jared, that Mensch is going to try and push back to try and stop Robin being a real outlet for them. Just already seem to be moving their forwards around a bit, Geelong.
Well, he'll be trying to take him down to the goal square, but he hasn't done it with great effect so far because Robin has had the ball a couple of times forward to centre.
Well, there he is again. And he had a couple of cracks at it. Rasciuto, Johnson looking good off half-back. The Adelaide Crows all of a sudden into attack, and a good kick. Wren's in front, takes the mark. He's got Harley to compete with this afternoon. Bickley back in the team, and a beautiful pass, and Crowell.
Well, that was just outstanding play. It was like a training drill there from the Adelaide Crows. I'm sure they would have concentrated pretty heavily on that sort of style of play, bringing the ball straight down the middle of the ground. Blokes leading up, and then there's the player running past pretty quickly for the handball. And what an important shot at goal. So that would give them the lead. And I think it would just take a little bit of the sting out of the Cats.
Interesting matchup too. McGrath on Crowell. Last week he was on low.
Kick.
Beautiful kick. Crows in front.
After some great ideas?
Looking for a fast-growing, water-saving native plant? We have the solution.
Wattles, of course.
And don't just holiday at Noosa. Take this delicious stir-fry with you and create Noosa magic at home. On Better Homes and Gardens Tuesday. Then at 8, blow away those cobwebs and experience the sun-drenched magic of French Polynesia.
The tag of paradise on earth still remains.
And the picture postcard Pyrenees, where the food's as awesome as the scenery on the Great Outdoors Tuesday.
quick cheerio to South Australia's greatest Adelaide fan, Bobby Nobes. We'll see you tomorrow, Bob. You'll be enjoying the start from the Crows in this important game here at Shell Stadium. Ronnie Burns gets back, gathers it beautifully. Oh, just sucked that in magnificently. That was a fantastic piece of play, wasn't it?
It was almost as if the game had stopped for Ronnie Burns to just perform on centre stage. I thought he was stiff early in the piece when he took what I thought was a mark, but it wasn't pay. But have a look at this play. Ronnie Burns, such an important player for them. Ben Hart is in for a big day. If he can keep him to, say, under 2 or 3 goals, he's done particularly well. But that was just pure magic from Rockin' Ronnie.
Well, you'd think Burns will have to watch Hart when the boot's on the other foot. We already saw Hart drive one long from just outside 50, so we'll watch that one with interest as well. Some pretty good matchups to watch this afternoon. Scores level at this early stage. A lot of pressure on Sanderson, held without it. And they've got away the Cats. Milburn going out wide. Houlihan versus Johnson. Johnson's been busy early, pointing it around the body. Plenty of Cats there away from Steinfort. McGregor, and the ball out of bounds. Gallagher with the job on Gary Hocking. He's down at the other end of the ground as we see Gary Ayres back to Shell Stadium, where he coached between 95 and 99. Steinfort, Cats making the steal from half-back. Wasn't a well-placed kick. Houlihan did really well to get fist to ball. Bassett back onto it, had the support of Smart. Snell was applying the pressure. They've done well and got the ball up to the wing.
Eccles kicks the ball in towards the middle where the mark has been taken by Rashuto. He can go short. Goodwin. He's just forward of the centre circle, Simon Goodwin. Dual premiership player, as there are quite a few of them out there for Adelaide in this lineup today. Kick forward Welsh, couldn't quite take the mark. Scarlett in over the top. And what will the umpire do? Decides on a bounce. And the player's about 40 metres from the Adelaide goal. Pretty good crowd. Magnificent day, winter's day here in Melbourne. No real indication of any rain around, and the sun shining quite brightly, and breeze, well, not really favouring either end. So goals will be scored at both ends. Sanderson breaks away from fullback, kicks it out wide to the wing. The ball spills to the advantage there of Milburn. Steinfort is there to give him a chop out. Kicks the ball towards half forward. Big punch by Nigel Smart. Goes out very wide. Bassett's a long way down from the full-back line. Left it behind McLeod. Kilpatrick wide. Kick forward there by Steinfort, and the mark is taken by Houlihan. Been very good value for Geelong as Houlihan. This kick is still inside the square. He goes out wide to half forward, just diving to try and take the mark there. It was Bizzle, and the kick out wide coming from Ben Hart looking for Nigel Smart. Fortunately for the Crows, it bounced inside the boundary line, and it will be thrown in about 65 metres around from the Geelong goal.
And Spriggs coming on now for Geelong. Houlihan off.
17 marks to 5 so far in favour of Adelaide. Sorry, Jared.
Big push out from Biglands. He gave the umpire no other choice.
Good kick. Great kick.
Well, his attempted goal earlier was a very ordinary one by Gary Hocking standards, but that vision there and his preparedness to just give the ball up. Maybe David Clark, not the best kick as far as a shot at goal. He goes probably better with the flying shot on the run, but he's got a chance here to kick a goal for Geelong and give them the lead.
Spriggs has come onto the ground. He's gone on to Kane Johnson, who's got a couple of handy kicks early coming off half-back. And, well, I imagine he's just going to be told to run Kane Johnson away from the footy. Pick up a goal if you can.
Clark will get the distance. And a good kick. Straight through the centre. Goal to Geelong.
Oh, dear, that's an awful centre bounce. Oh, how about that for a shocking pass? That's a blatant in the back. Oh, no, he's hit the post.
At the end of the day, there's only one in the game that can be best and fairest. Find out why RAA Insurance is South Australia's #1 car insurer by calling 8202 4567 today.
We saw Houlihan come off the ground, about to come back on to replace Cole Jory. So, Joel Corey.
Good on you, Dip.
Cole Joy used to be a singer, didn't he? Dipper out of the middle. Rashuto up towards full forward. McGrath in front, didn't get a kind bounce, ran, attacked it pretty well, and then the Cats attacked him. Scholl linking up with Sanderson. Gee, that was a real up and under kick and a dangerous kick from Brenton Sanderson. And Andrew McLeod will make him pay, you would think.
Of all the players to mark the ball.
Manna from heaven. That was just, he couldn't believe his good fortune. That was a poor kick from Brenton Sanderson. He actually bypassed one of his own players. He may well just have hit it poorly. But Joel Corey was on Simon Goodwin, and a change will be made there.
Yeah, Goodwin already, well, only one kick, so interesting that he's made the move already. That's a beautiful kick. So both sides on target at 3-1 apiece. G'day, Larry.
Hey, morning, Larry.
King up high, but the tap has been sharked by Edwards. Edwards left foot kick towards half forward. Mark taken by Scholl. Away from McLeod. Scholl goes very wide. Looks for Houlihan. Smart little hand pass finds Spriggs. In turn inboard to Steinfort. Steinfort's kick to centre half forward. Marking Conklin. Oh, spectacular! Great stuff. What the crowd comes to see when they go to AFL footy. Clint Bizzle flying high and takes a great mark about 45 metres out.
Oh, Jared, I was just looking through the stats yesterday, and he has 30 contested marks and 42 uncontested, and that is a better percentage, I would say, than just about any other player in the league for contested versus uncontested marks.
You've gone to stats after Robbo's given it that build-up. Take it away, Robbo.
Look, it is just magnificent. The high-flying, spectacular leap and mark, and then the goal. Well done, Bizzle. Look, I might pump it up, Jared, but I'm sure every person out there just loves to see just some, like the Ronnie Burns goal that we alluded to earlier. Just the excitement of Aussie rules football and these players standing tall and then converting like that.
Well, if you wanted something to be excited about if you're a Geelong supporter, the 4 players involved in that passage of play were all 23, 24 and under.
It was a well-placed kick too, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was a well-placed kick, but it was also a very sticky hand that grabbed it in.
27 goals he's kicked this year. Clint Bizzle now for the Cats. 4-1 plays 3-1. And King, using the body, gives Milburn first use. Hocking couldn't take it with him. Milburn back in again. And the Cats going into attack. Houlihan versus Johnson. That's a good, strong contested mark. Couple of players breaking. One of them going back Burns, doubling back Bizzle in the square. Goes for the pocket and Mensch. Versus Robran. Burns where a forward should be. Rashudo right on top of him.
Great tackle. It's a good stand game, Hutto. Plenty of goals being kicked. But I think if you're a Geelong player, you'd be trying to avoid Matthew Robran at all stakes or at all chances, because he's on fire at the moment. He's one of the best centre-half backs in the competition. And I think Bizzle would have been the preferred lead.
King getting it down. Houlihan is good at the snaps at goal. And that is no exception, but it was touched. Just touched right on the line, and the Geelong player in the square querying the decision, Glenn Kilpatrick.
Goodwin's now pushed onto Buddha Hocking since Buddha's gone back onto the ball.
Interesting that. As to whether it was actually touched or not. Bassett kicking in.
Good kick too, well outside his defensive 50, but punched back by the Cats, gathered here by Edwards. Handball away to Rashudo. Rashudo already with 5 kicks in towards half forward. The punch to the base of the pack was gathered beautifully by Robran. 6'5", but terrific at ground level as well. And that kick was very efficient. Has given Welsh the opportunity. Maybe a shot at goal coming up for Scotty Welsh. No, decides to go short. Robran. Well, it wasn't that long ago that we saw Matthew Robran kick some big goals, I think, at the Melbourne Cricket Ground in a final. And you would go back to that, look at the tapes, and from that suggest that Matthew Robran would be a chance to score here. He's kicking from 50 metres. It is a bomb. It goes right to the goal line eventually, punched away at the fall of the ball. McLeod gets it out wide. Chance here now for Crowell. Left foot snap, he missed it altogether. Played an airy. Well, technically, yes. but the umpire has decided very quickly to come in and officiate. He will ball it up.
Thought Glenn McGrath a little bit lucky there. Sorry,
Cricketer of the Year.
Tim McGrath. He charged in and tackled one of the Crows when he didn't have the ball, and that was a Sharon, not a Kookaburra.
Well, still in the danger zone. Adelaide deep in attack. Couple of boots there. The umpire picked it out, and it's going Adelaide's way. I thought there was a couple swinging in there. We've just seen the reintroduction of kicking in danger in the last couple of weeks. Well, the rule hasn't changed, but I've just actually seen the umpires pay it a few times, which I hadn't seen for a couple of years. Simon Goodwin, another look at it here. That's what it was for. Goodwin, away to the left, crowd roaring, giving the message that one's missed. So 4-2 to 3-2. How do you read it, Jared, as to which side's up at the moment?
Oh, well, I think it's very much that neutral situation of any Indian arm wrestle. You just know that both sides have come here knowing the importance of it, knowing what rests on it. For Geelong, it's an emotional aspect as much as the 4 points, and they're going to get caned if they continue to give the ball back like that, because Mark Rashudo, one of the longest and more accurate kicks in the competition, has it, and he's got it from the most, well, definitely the longest kick in the competition in Ben Graham.
It was that dangerous option that works well when you hit the target and you hit the man on 50 straight down the ground.
I think if you're in the Crows camp, you'd be very pleased with the position they're in at the moment.
Absolutely. Rashudo already kicked one this afternoon and well within range from 55 metres, although this time he's pushed it right across the face.
It's a pass.
It was a great pass. And Rhett Biglan's pushing forward and has taken a very good mark in the pack.
He actually didn't, I don't think he got a lot of support from anybody, but it was a big leap.
It was
big
a
leap. Does he look like Patrick Swayze, this boy? Look-alike. That'll give the people something to think about, Jared.
And
he might kick like Patrick too, Robbo.
He's missed.
We're just not far from one of the focuses of one of Patrick's best movies. What was it, down at Bells Beach? I think it was Point Break.
Point Break.
One of the worst movies ever made, but I'm sure Rhett Biglan's would do a better job at surfing than Patrick.
Well, Ben Graham, after that previous kick in, has made his mind up and gone bang. Kicked the ball nearly to the centre. Spriggs gathers, forced to kick with the left. Back goes Nigel Smart.
Good shove.
And he's still a chance to gather, but plays the percentages away from David Mensch and forces a boundary throw in left half forward for Geelong. Geelong lead 4-2, Adelaide 3-3. What an entertaining first 15 or 16 minutes of this match. Boundary throw in about 75 metres around from the Geelong goal. King doing well, getting front posse. Spriggs looked to give the hand pass away, then kicked the ball to the front of the goal square. Back there was Bizzle, gathered by Connell. Quickly, Connell goes very wide. Oh, top mark taken by Milburn. Looked to play on, but decides to go back and take his kick. Now will be called to play on. Lobs the ball at half forward. Oh, strong mark, Connell. Gee, he's taken his own footy out there today, Matthew Connell. Goes out very wide, looks for Robran. Bounce all important. Bouncing away from Matthew Robran. He's able to keep it in and then kicks rather poorly in the finish, giving the advantage to David Clark and nothing for his teammate in Goodwin. Away to Gary Hockey. He, in turn, kicks it straight to the opposition and Renner's mark.
They pushed numbers back then, Adelaide, and Gary Hockey just didn't play the percentages really. He was trying to be direct, but went straight to Wren. So now Adelaide's turn to attack. McGregor, the target, on the way up to the wing. Some good pressure there, but they've got it to Edwards, who's escaping with some space, and the pass is very good, and Biglan's takes the mark. So they've made that rotation in the last 3 or 4 minutes, with Biglan's going to full forward and Wren into the ruck. And there's Patrick Swayze.
Not a bad look-alike.
No, I think you're onto something there, Robbo. Marketing guru.
Here he is from outside 50, setting it up, and that was touched right on the line. So they've missed a few chances in the last few minutes, Adelaide. Now 3-4 plays 4-2.
Cameron Ling now replacing
Snell.
Snell, thanks, boys. Playing down the 4-line. Ling.
Yeah, ran. Oh, dear.
He ran from 50 metres, you know. Back on the back end of the square, he was in the hands of the trainers. He could see there were 2 Geelong players on their own. He made the effort to run the full length of the centre square.
You see him from behind there, Robbo. and he just had a little think about playing on, but decided against.
Just too far out from here to score a goal.
You'd reckon?
It would be a monster kick. Well, he's not going to have a shot. He goes for the pass, and that was
just as bad.
Yeah, it was. Milburn, I'm not sure if he actually got that on the full or not, but the umpire pays the mark. Milburn across half-back. And trying to use his teammate Sanderson going out wide. Steinfort. Little sidestep onto the left. A good kick. Good delivery to Clark. So Geelong trying to counter-punch from half-back.
Pretty good battle, this one, between Clark and Connell. They're both getting plenty of possessions.
6 possessions for Clark. Went for Houlihan. No mark there, but Geelong had numbers at ground level. Milburn feeding it out to Ling. Good vision in the end. Gets Hocking on the point of the square. The lead is a good one, and the pass just as good. Metz takes the mark. Houlihan pushes into the square, but Metz should be well advised to go back and have a shot.
Well, that's where he's able to hurt it. Matthew Robin, or any player for that matter, if the ball is coming in quickly and he's got nobody else around him, he's got all the space on either side of him in which to lead. And well, Gary Hocking basically saw his first step and then just poked it 10 metres out to his right, and he sets up the shot at goal.
So the Cats can be 10 points up if David Metz is accurate, and he is.
The Mitsubishi Triton has a larger payload than Hilux.
Bigger.
Plus, it has more legroom and headroom than Hilux.
Bigger.
And Triton's 3-litre V6 four-wheel drive engine has an extra 25 kilowatts more power.
Ooh. Bigger.
The Mitsubishi Triton four-wheel drive ute. Bigger than the other bugger. It is Mitsubishi.
So pretty good start here for Geelong. 5-2 to 3-4.
King playing well.
Neither end advantaged by the breeze. Oh, magnificent torpedo punt kick by Kilpatrick. Punched away by Smart. Ben Hart at the back of the pack. Burns. Handball all right. Play allowed to go on. Goal kicked by Houlihan.
Well, he may not have meant this one, Robbo, but looked to me like it was a throw from Rock and Ronnie. But we're a fair way away from it, some 150 metres. But what a kick this was. All of a sudden, it's a one-on-one battle. Nobody can flood because the ball comes in quickly. Ronnie Burns just gets it now, and we won't be able to
couldn't tell from that angle.
Tell from that position, but maybe we'll have another camera and another look at it from the side. But nevertheless, bottom line is another goal on the board there for the Cats.
30 goals now to Adam Houlihan out of his 17 matches this year for Geelong. Spriggs trying to break away from the centre.
And the Cats might get clear. Milburn, who's had a lot of it, gets them to 50. Burns again was the target. And Adelaide getting it away to the middle of the ground. Was that a free kick against Rashudo? No. Play on the call. Geelong numbers. Hocking just had a bit of it in the last few minutes. Clark, he's had plenty of it. 7 kicks. Not a bad one. Mensch prop. Bassett went with him. Goodwin trying to find a way through. Couldn't really do it. Loose ball for Burns. Last minute and 20 of the quarter. And Ronnie Burns could really hurt Adelaide with a left footer. A missile from 40.
It's going to be a very special television event.
Wednesday, Thursday and Friday at 5 o'clock. Follow the flame live as it makes its way through South Australia.
It's a wonderful opportunity for some of South Australia's unsung heroes to finally share the spotlight.
Saturday at 5:30, Seven's live telecast begins as the Olympic torch arrives at the Adelaide Town Hall.
Join the 7 News and Today Tonight team and follow the flame live to the Adelaide Town Hall from Wednesday on 7.
7-2 to 3-4. 3 goals in a couple of minutes to the Cats. Stephen King having a real influence at the centre bounce. Milburn has had quite a few centre clearances in this first term as well. Clark's handball back to Steinfort.
Bickley's down.
Steinfort looks, kicks towards half forward. Back there was Goodwin, tackled there by Houlihan a little high. And we see Mark Bickley in the hands of the trainers at the centre bounce.
Might be a shoulder again, is it? Oh, he might have copped one anywhere there, I'm not really sure.
The crown jewels
in the
are
groin area. Yeah, that's fairly explicit. Thanks, Dipper. Combination between 3 Crows out there on the far side of the ground. Eventually, Connell kicks it in. Mark taken by King. It's amazing what a little stir can do.
Well, they've visibly lifted in the last 5 minutes, the Cats.
This bloke's been terrific, Gary Hocking. He was indiscriminate early in his flying shot at goal, but by gee, he's been prepared to share it since then. Bickley coming off the ground. Bassett. Ball bounces favourably, goes down the line, taken by Ben Hart. Hart kicks it high out towards the wing. The mark has been taken out there by Wren, was it?
I think
we're watching Mark Bickley.
I think he caught one in the head.
Bit of concussion, maybe.
Certainly a lot of pain.
Well, the siren has sounded. So the first term, at the end of the first term, Geelong 7-2-44. The lead Adelaide 3-4-22. Margin in favour of Geelong 22 points. Ronnie Burns and David Mensch have kicked 2 goals each for Geelong.
Yes, and what a great finish to the quarter by the Cats, but don't despair if you're a Crow supporter. They had plenty of opportunities. They've just got to find their length and their accuracy. And at half-time, at quarter-time, it's Geelong by 22 points.
Here's a family who wants to enhance their outdoor living area and add value to their home with a new deck and garden. And here's the Mitre 10 specialist.
40-tooth blade, the more teeth on the blade, the finer the cut. So the tooth is...
From the store that understands it's not just the low price, it's getting the right advice that really saves you money.
Dad, look, here. What's here? The Mitre 10 truck.
Who will be the Crows Player of the Decade? 7 News will give you the 7 official nominations. Can you guess who it is? We reveal the first nomination tonight on 7 News.
At Truscott Hi-Fi, we've stretched and stretched and stretched our showroom in the city till it's double the size. Now it's so big, we're open every Sunday to give you time to check out all the bargains. Truscott Hi-Fi, we're open tomorrow. Only Discount Lounge Centre, being South Australia's largest lounge specialist, has the bulk buying power to squash the GST on lounges. And as always, we have the lowest price or it's free. It has to be. It's all we do. Discount Lounge Centre, Ranella, Parafield and Keswick.
Sunday, July 30, Clipsal Powerhouse. Talent like you've never seen before takes centre stage. It's the Canberra Crows Westpac Players Concert. These Hollywood hopefuls will show you just why they make better footballers and entertainers. Get along and be part of the fun by booking your tickets through VenueTix.
At Pizza Haven, we haven't just tackled the competition. We've also got a deal that'll knock you for 6. 3 large pizzas for just $21.95 delivered. Thank goodness we know how to make great pizza.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are.
Win a 4-day package to the Sydney 2000 Olympic Games, including the athletics finals. See packs for details.
Whoa, here come the Repco Big League Legends. Valvoline SH 2050 Gold Label 6 litre bonus pack, now only $12.95. Munro GT gas shockers, #1 for comfort and safety, from $79 a pair. Bosch Super Spark Plugs, 4-pack $9.25, 6-pack just $13.85. Pyroil, the pump 350-gram emergency tyre inflator with bonus tyre shine, only $7.95. Legendary brands at legendary prices, available at all Repco stores.
It was one of the greatest moments in Australian rugby. And our nation held its breath. Get ready for the rematch. Australia versus South Africa, live tonight on 7.
So quarter time at Shell Stadium, and after a very intriguing battle for the first, 25 minutes or so of the quarter, Geelong in time on, really shooting ahead. 7-2-44 to 3-4-22. Burns and Mensch, the only multiples.
The Coca-Cola AFL Premiership Season 2000. Proudly brought to you by Victoria Bitter. Mitsubishi Magna V6. One drive and you're hooked. McDonald's. McCatch, match and win. And Telstra. Making life easier.
Dipper is down with Daryl Hart. Dipper.
Yeah, thanks very much, Anthony. Daryl, you had your chances there and, just blew it there, I thought.
Yeah, we had 4 opportunities to score in a row and we missed them all, and Geelong went down and kicked good goals, so it was good play by them. But certainly the clearances are 14-4 and we've just got to tidy up in that area. They've been at the ball probably a little bit more than us, so that's the instruction from Gary.
And was that the message as you told them then?
Yeah, very clearly that's just where we have to improve, is around the ground, centre throw-ins, centre bounces, to be inside your opponent and get at the ball.
And Bickley unfortunately hurt himself there?
Yeah, right where it hurts.
Yeah,
so hopefully he'll be back in a couple of minutes.
Good on you, Daryl. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Well, there it was. He copped one right where it hurts, and you get no stats for those ones, unfortunately. But Stephen King, the man on screen, I thought had a very good first quarter, but finished strongly. And in the last 4 or 5 minutes, as we see Mark Bickley just walking back to the room for a bit of recovery period, I thought Stephen King got well on top of Sean Wren, and he gave them a fair bit of drive. But I think Ronnie Burns is the key to this Geelong side.
7-2 to 3-4 as we start the second quarter from Shell Stadium. The umpire throwing it up, and Stephen King giving away the free kick by getting high contact on Sean Wren.
Hutto, Gary Hocking, a welcome return to form. He had 10 possessions in the first term.
Well, Gary Hocking, second for disposals for Geelong, and interestingly enough, Hocking has given away 31 free kicks this year and received 31 free kicks. So he's in the top 3, I think, in both the for and against. Ball long from Wren. Crowd open goal. Decided the handball, which probably in the end will work out okay, only just. McGregor kicks the goal. And really, you would think the crowd might have been better to kick it himself, Jared.
Yeah, it could have been, but it was one of those ones where he could see the player coming across and he just decided to lay it off. But as Daryl Hart said at quarter time, these clearances are all important. Sean Wren's got that one away from the centre clearances, which really were interesting in the first quarter. Geelong got the first 4, then Adelaide got the next 3 in a row, and then Geelong finished with 3. But it was also the ruck clearances at all neutral balls, whether they be bounce downs or throw-ins from the boundary line, that Geelong have dominated. And King once again getting it from the centre.
And the free kick
32
to Gary Hocking, yes.
32, number 32, 32 free kicks for Kilpatrick from 55 metres. Goes for goal. Long kick being marked. Bizzle at the back judged it beautifully.
Strong play, wasn't it?
Well, it's the emphatic nature of the kick that came in. It wasn't sitting up in the air. Yep. It was travelling through the air beautifully, which gives the forward the chance to make position on the goal line.
Well, that he had. Just look, he just maintained his ground. Bassett tried to come back strongly. I'm not sure he knew that Bizzle was there. And this is very quickly going to be the reply from the Crows' opening goal.
Very exciting player, Clint Bizzle, going for his second goal. From point-blank range, he puts it through. Geelong have got their 8th.
On Today Tonight, Adelaide's troublesome tenant.
Living there for 10 years rent-free.
She's the owner and wants him out.
Oh, call the police.
Please go call the police. He owes her thousands, and now she wants to sell.
Don't you tell me to get out of this place.
But he refuses to go.
It's bad news. He always has been.
Plus, with the GST, should you now buy generic at the supermarket?
That was the nicest one.
We test their value against the brand names. And on the campaign trail with Ivy and her helpers. Next week on 7.
So another throw up in the middle. Free kick again going against King.
He's putting his leg up, I think. Would that be an infringement?
Well, since when aren't players allowed to put their leg up in the ruck? Stephen King gets jumped on all over, and so is Sean Wren.
Well, the ball now up to half forward. Johnson took it under the arm. Very wide, the handball, and eventually it's Connell that can set it up towards full forward. Welsh was looking for position, but well done by Scarlett. And the ball over the line and out of bounds.
Don't get me wrong, I don't want to have an argument with you. I'm just trying to maybe help the viewer understand that was the way the umpire saw the infringement.
I'm with you 100%, but I just think that Brett Allen may have just made up a rule there. I mean, Ruckman have been jumping early for 3 or 4 years now.
Well, I guess that the difference here is we watch Crow snap on goal and go across. It is a little different when it's a throw up for everyone just to adjust to, and maybe the umpire.
And why would the umpire decide all of a sudden to throw the ball in the air?
No, it's because of the centre square. There's a problem with the centre square. The grass is it's been recently replaced. It's not hard enough. That's the situation. Bigland's kick going across the face of goal.
You need some old Merry Creek turf, Robbo.
Harley's clearing kick. This is Spriggs. Overran it cleverly in the end because Burns took it, missed the handball. That opens up for Adelaide. Gallagher can get it through to Johnson. Hocking slapping it away. That's fierce tackle on Connell.
It was actually 95% towards a fantastic tackle, but I think
look, I reckon it wasn't bad.
I think it just slipped across the top.
Got him just below the shoulder. Huh?
Well, it was a ferocious tackle.
It was, and I reckon he was penalised because he was too ferocious. That's not in the rule book either.
Well, you can see the frustrations of Gary Hocking. He must have sworn at the umpire.
Yeah, because look, in all due respect, that's the way he plays his football, but that's a legal tackle.
That is a pretty good tackle, isn't it? Maybe, yeah, it was right on the line.
Well, it's on the line, but it was a legal one. I think Robbo's spot on.
Connell kicks the goal. And that will hurt even more.
Do you want to go to a really humongous party? Coca-Cola is giving away 90,000 tickets nationally to Redfest, their Olympic opening ceremony parties in 5 capital cities. Catch the action on this. Plus, you'll see bands, pro skateboarding, celebrity basketball. Check those blades. DJs, dance tents, and way more. Be first to send in 15 Coca-Cola tokens to get your ticket. But hurry, there are limited tickets to Redfest and they'll go as fast as an ice-cold Coke on a hot, hot day. Hit Redfest for more and enjoy.
Can't we as human beings diffuse a situation like that a little easier than making a mockery of the player who he thought was a great tackle, giving 50 metres to make him look a gig? Anyway, that will go down as a goal from a 50-metre penalty against Gary Hocking for arguing with the umpire. So Geelong have got to concentrate on that football. And Brad Chole kicks the ball forward. Mark has been taken by Wren.
Well, if you're kicking up and under, you're just floating the ball down there, putting it into the strengths and the aerial space of Sean Wren.
Oh, not the accuracy he was looking for there. Could be costly. Turnover. Steinfort punched away in the finish back there by Goodwin. And it will be thrown in the left forward pocket for Geelong.
And the Geelong runner was just out talking to Gary Hocking. I'm not sure it was about the previous incident because he's moved on quickly. He's now talking to David Clark.
So the boundary umpire throws it back in. Wren gathered by Houlihan. Weighted handball for Clark. He's got the pace to break away. Hasn't quite got the penetration with the kick. And the mark taken back there by one of the most underrated players in the competition right now, young Bassett, who does a pretty good job for Adelaide week in, week out on their last line of defence on one of the tall forwards.
Going to be an interesting battle, that. Oh, that's not a great kick out on the full. Bizzle's had 2 marks, 2 kicks, 2 goals. Bassett's been tight on every other occasion. That's pretty good delivery, and Houlihan on the end of it. And that was the difference between that kick and the one we saw a moment ago from Steinfort, who tried to kick the ball into Bizzle, but kicked it too high. Tough angle from there, though, for Adam Houlihan, but he is a noted goal kicker.
29 so far, plus the one he's already kicked today, makes 30.
And he's kicked 20. He kicked 29 goals, 11 too before today, so that's a fairly good rate of conversion. See how he goes from 40 metres out. Pretty good connection. And speaking of connection, he connects with the post. So the margin 17 points. And this wrestle between the Cats and the Crows continues.
The Geelong bench there, David Robertson and Trevor Spencer, 2 of Mark Thompson's former teammates at Essendon, are acting as Mark Thompson's runners. This is Bassett, after kicking in, has nearly coughed it up. McGregor gathers, attempted kick, which the umpire saw as a play-on situation. Graham takes the hand pass and kicks the ball to Snell. Snell is 50 metres from goal. Goes in short. Oh, well done. Well done, Houlihan. Got rid of his opponent in Goodwin and took the mark quite nicely in the finish. And he's got a shot. Similar situation, opposite side of the ground to his previous attempt where he hit the post. and probably a little closer.
And I think Mark Thompson will be very pleased with the way that Geelong are defending the kickouts from Adelaide. That's a couple of mistakes they've made in the last 2 tries. And once again, another set shot at goal for Houlihan. I reckon he'd belt this one through.
Houlihan goes for goal, just floats away to the right. The breeze, if any, the flags are just wafting ever so slightly, but the breeze, if any, is blowing out from those goals left to right, out to the far wing, and that was the way the ball was carried through the air after the kick came in from Houlihan.
Well, Malcolm Blythe will be watching this telecast and saying that Geelong are kicking from the wrong quadrant at goal, as he was on about last week. Smart takes the mark from half back, gets it up to half forward, very wide. Well, they could raffle it there. Robert allowing Gallagher to take it. Traffic flew by, just trying to straighten things up. Not much on offer as far as distinctive leads go at this stage, so they're just shuffling it across the middle.
It's just so slow getting into the forward line though, Hutto. It's,
free kick to Geelong, I think it's going to be at centre half back for hanging on against Sanderson. Was the man who was infringed upon
against Welsh
and against Eccles. Quickly the Cats moving it forward. Clark, high tackle, play on. Crowd yelling about that one. Burns tackle without it, play on as well. Crows getting it away. Connell, here they go. Johnson, that's a poor kick. And Hocking, well, they both shepherded there. Neither one wanted to pick the ball up. Hocking does now and quickly goes inboard to King, who wasn't entirely ready for it. High kick. Bissell's got to go against 3. Hart! Big fly. Couldn't take the mark. Good ground level work. McLeod playing in front. Able to clear for the Crows, and King had it stolen by Crow. That was terrific play. Out to James. Again, the Crows going forward. This time through McGregor. The link man is Johnson if he wants to use him.
Vardy onto the ground.
And Vardy in the pocket. The kick goes shorter than that. Out wide, Rashudo's handball. Now Goodwin could unload from inside 50. This is where Burns exactly kicked the goal earlier on. And the result for the Crows, unfortunately not the same. Hitting the post. So Adelaide's a 5-5-35. Geelong are 8-4-52.
Houlihan off and Cameron Ling back onto the ground, but at least that time they got the ball into some open space. And just a small prediction, Hutto, I think we may be in for a rather loud Bronx cheers next time the Cats get a free kick.
How long have you been on the ground for? About 12 seconds. Cameron Ling already into the play. He's a very good interchange player. Gets his hands on the football straight away as soon as he gets on the ground. Well done by Midge. Snell's kick smothered. Very important possession here.
Oh, well
played beautifully by Ben Hart. Connell, short kick is all right. Edwards was infringed against, in my opinion. It wasn't Edwards, actually. It might have been Eccles, and umpire called play on. Adelaide a bit stiff there, and the umpire will ball it up right James. On the forward end of the square.
Brett James, I think it was, and he is having words to the umpire.
Well, Mark McKenzie does not want to pay a free kick.
7 free kicks each. Milburn doing the ruck work on that occasion. Burns held his ground, wanted a free. Hocking involved again. Still the umpire lets it go. McGregor in front of Graham. Graham right there with him, and it didn't go out of bounds, so he can launch one of those missiles from half back, and a beautiful kick to Hocking. Oh, it's as good as 2 kicks, isn't it? And it's much quicker, and Hocking's got a loose man over the top, and that's okay, and Matty Scarlett in unfamiliar territory takes the mark from the forward pocket.
14 touches for Gary Hocking.
He's been on fire. I wouldn't have thought Matthew Scarlett, Hutto, would have had too many goals to his name in his career.
And Joel Corey back on the ground. And young David Clark off.
Well, Scarlett kicked just 1 goal, Robbo, in his career. Here he comes.
Would he be nervous, do you reckon?
Well, they'd make him nervous. From 40 out, it's a scrappy-looking kick, but it wasn't bad. He put it through.
Aye, we were off for a wee break with the wains, and the car was like a cope. And would you know about Kennett? Clunk, clunk, clunk. I'm stood there right glaikit with the wains shouting, "Oh, Farah, you ken you're nothing but a big dunderhead." So I skedaddled right into Ultratune and told the laddie about the clunk, clunk, clunk. He says, "Oh, your shock absorbers are out the windy, man," and made a rare job of them. Understood me perfectly, he did.
Umpires continue to throw the ball in the air. This time it advantages King. kicked out of there by Milburn in the Ling, Ben Hart direction. Ben Hart on this occasion, favoured by the bounce, kicks it over his left shoulder, gathered here by Johnson. Did he stay in? No, well, he may have, but soon Tim McGrath bounced him over the boundary line, and it will be thrown in on centre wing. Mark Nash quickly on the scene. Mark Nash, Mark McKenzie and Brett Allen officiating in this match today.
And Carl Steinford doing a pretty good job on Rashudo in this quarter. Rashudo got away from him early in the piece, but he's really clamped down on him.
Very iffy free kick in a pack of about 3 or 4 players being paid in favour of Adelaide, taken by Eccles to Robran. Geelong disciplined in manning up.
Seeing a bit of angst towards the umpires from the players, aren't we, too?
Just a relaxed kicking style by Matthew Robran, gets it all the way to the goal line, kicked out of there by Biglands and goes across the face of goal out of bounds in the left forward pocket for Adelaide. So the ruck contest, Stephen King and Rhett Biglands, 58 plays 35, 23-point advantage for Geelong. Away goes Spriggs, does nicely too. Kicks it into the middle. Kilpatrick got rid of his opponent, maybe illegally. Play allowed to go on. Kilpatrick towards full forward, out in front of Minch. He's in the pocket. Bassett got Minch. Handball in front of himself, taken over. Boundary throw in.
Yeah, well, I think that was over the line, that one. Looked like Kilpatrick definitely pushed him out. And it should have been a free kick. That one...
that was a good decision, I think, that time. Minch playing for the free. The umpire's just showing that they're not going to pay much as far as free kick goes. Well, it's then when they pull one out that everyone cries.
Smother.
Hocking, lovely work by the Cats. And Burns runs in and rams it home.
He kicked the goal, but Bizzle was terrific.
It was a great smother, wasn't it?
Oh, fantastic football, that.
Once again, a goal to Geelong against the Tide. And just have a look. There's a pretty fair bit of ruck work from Sean Wren, but smother, a double smother there from the Cats, and Ronnie Burns on the end of some excellent work by some teammates.
Ronnie Burns kicks his 3rd goal. Geelong kicked their 10th, their 3rd for the quarter. Adelaide have kicked a couple in this second term. And ball up back at the centre. King went early. Wren got it down in the direction of Rashudo. Handball to McLeod, who's been fairly quiet. McLeod's short kick. Now off the play, Rashudo has infringed against Kilpatrick. Umpire Mark McKenzie was quickly onto it.
Yeah, just rode him down to the ground after the other kick was given.
It was a hip and shoulder to the back.
Tim McGrath off the ground as Kilpatrick kicks it into the forward zone. Gathered by Ben Hart. He's going to get run down. And excellent work again there by Bizzle.
Well, they're wanting to harp on that centre bounce. I'd like to know the difference between Stephen King going early that time and no free kick and the one before.
Different umpire.
Same umpire.
Was it?
Number 24.
Well, they're under the hammer at the moment, the umpires, so we'll watch the centre bounces with a bit of interest. Rashudo's been put under enormous pressure each time he's gone for the ball. Edwards was well tackled by Kilpatrick. Hand pass by Bizzle, brilliant vision, execution perfect. Spriggs towards full forward, contest at half forward, gathered here by Connell for Adelaide. He goes out in the direction where it's 2-on-4 in favour of Adelaide. Geelong knock it away in the form of Scarlett. To the fall of the ball was Milburn, gathered by Crowell, tackled by Bizzle, his 3rd pretty good tackle, I thought. But the umpire saw that as an infringement against Clint Bizzle. And the free kick will go to Adelaide to be taken by Andrew Crowell.
Well, they're going to need a lift from somewhere. The Crows, their Cats are really only a couple of goals away from having this game just about sewn up. They need a real lift around the ball. You can just see the intensity of Geelong. They're responding to their midweek criticism. But
was there a prior opportunity there? I thought the tackle by Edwards was pretty good on Spriggs, and Spriggs did have a chance to get rid of the ball. Tackled fair and square, caught.
Well, I reckon if in doubt, play the bloke playing the ball, pay the bloke going the ball every opportunity. But the Crows need a lift from some of their match winners like Rashudo, Goodwin, Eccles even, who hasn't had a lot of game time this year. But McLeod is another one. He's just got to get around that ball and start creating some opportunities inside their forward 50.
Ling coming off, boys, and young Mooney playing now and going straight to the 4 line.
That's Cameron Mooney, of course. Oh, gee, if you wondered about Geelong and their attack on at the football and their opponents, you'd only have to watch the first 2 quarters of this match to see that they're very much on song today. Goodwin, there's another example. Brad Scholl, his tackle on Goodwin locks the Adelaide Crows player up, and it will be thrown in.
I get the feeling there's some frustrations out there that could be vent at some stage in an indiscriminate manner.
Wren gets the ball to the back. Edwards couldn't break away. Hand pass Eccles. Robran skillful off the left. Beautiful kick. Couldn't quite get to the fall of the ball. The big fella, big lens. Chance for McGregor. He's taken to the ground by Harley. Ben Graham, they're all in there. And they're all quite vehement in their attack on the ball, the Geelong players. They want the footy, and if they can't get that, they want the opponent to be locked up. So every contest is being, very, very much fought after by Geelong, particularly on their forward line, where they're trying to create opportunities. Now a chance for Eccles, a flying shot at goal when he probably could have maybe taken one more step. Eccles misses to the left, scores are behind. 5-6-36, so that's 28 points in favour of Geelong. Geelong 10-4-64. Crows with some work to be done. We've got about 7 minutes left in the first half.
Brad Scholl switching play, not a lot on, so he just changed at the last moment and went down the middle. Spriggs, who's had a good quarter, went looking for Mensch. Hocking there, in and underneath, out to Ronnie Burns. Didn't try and take it with him, and now he does. Got a man in short, I think that's Snell, running down his 30 out, and 40 out, and he might go back and have a shot. And this would really put a very big gap between Geelong and Adelaide. Already it's 10-4 to 5-6. This to take the margin out to 34 points. Jason Snell, slightly better angle than where we saw Adam Houlihan. A wobbly punt, almost got there, not quite. Kept it alive, Adelaide. Edwards goes straight for the boundary line and gets his man. The ball over and out. 6 minutes remaining, or just slightly more than. Snell would be disappointed with that shot at goal. 9 goals for the year, Jason Snell. The ball just outside 50. King versus Wren. Wren getting the hand to the ball at some of the hit-outs in this quarter, after Geelong's King was well on top in the first term.
Dipper, you're down there at ground level. If you had to give both sides a score out of 10 for intensity, how would you rate it?
Joe, sorry I missed that, mate. I can hardly hear you, mate, so...
Give both sides a score out of 10 for intensity.
Obviously still can't hear you, Jared.
Mathematics whenever he's strong.
Sorry, mate. My earpiece is down at the moment.
I think it's a fair point, though, because the ones that are having the real red-hot go at it are in front. There's no doubt about that. Wojcinski kicks the ball across the half-forward line. Bassett couldn't quite take it. Goodwin's tackle is fairly good, effective. Umpire just off to the far right, allowing play to go on now. It was a free kick to Geelong. Advantage with Mensch. Flying shot at goal. Hits the post again.
I reckon Geelong's tackle count will be well down at the moment, because they just appear to be the first ones there. Adelaide are following them in, but I reckon there'll be a 25% difference in just the numbers at the footy, the hardness at the loose ball. And that's not to say that Adelaide can't turn it around pretty quickly. I think if you line them up man for man, Adelaide would have an advantage in skill level and maybe even just raw ability, but intensity counts for so much in this game.
Booming kick from Wren. Robran helping it on. Adelaide need a goal just to change the flow of this match. That mark paid to Brad Scholl.
31 times inside their forward 50 Geelong, 16 Adelaide.
Tried to spot up Bizzle, who was not quite at that contest. Corey got a little hand pass. Mensch. Kilpatrick to set it up. The lead from Cameron Mooney wasn't a well-placed kick. Smart in best position takes the mark. So still 5 minutes to go of actual playing time in this quarter. So time for the Adelaide Crows to get a couple back before half-time and get back in the contest, because they're not really in the contest at the moment.
That's an ordinary kick, wasn't it?
Well, they can't get from defence to attack at the moment.
But he could have bounced it. That young fellow with a bit of talk from his teammates, he could have bounced it.
Well, Graham can launch from just on the defensive side of the centre. Oh, that's 50. That is 50 metres.
Why would the Adelaide player do that?
Patrick Swayze, I think it was. He came
He's
from behind.
just absolutely lost the plot there, didn't he?
You do feel for him in that situation. Graham had...
But it's never on.
No, well, it hadn't been called on. It's the same...
And they're telling him, all the Geelong players in there telling him. He'll kick a goal now. There's one thing, he'll make the distance. Ben Graham, player on the mark now, taken inside the 50-metre area.
Wasn't much of a 50-metre penalty.
No, I was going to say it himself.
About 35 and a half. Here's the kick from Graham. And he hasn't made him pay. Misses to the right. So Geelong have had a lot of the ball. And if anything, they haven't really capitalised on their domination in the last.
3 goals 4 they've kicked so far in this term. And Adelaide have kicked 2 goals 2.
At least when they go forward to the centre, they appear to have a system.
Well, they certainly do.
Whereas Adelaide have just held it up so often across the midfield and don't appear to have a particular pattern of play once they go past there.
Well, here's another example, just a bomb provided by Sean Wren out in front there of Big Lens. Running it down was Wojcinski in front of Goodwin. 30 points is the advantage that Geelong enjoy close to the long break here at Shell Stadium. An important game between two sides that are fighting for survival as far as the final 8 is concerned. After this, we've only got 4 roster rounds to go.
Mark Rashudo, he's stuck on 11 possessions. He's been there for some time. Maybe he could go forward and play there.
Make it 12 as Biglands tries to redeem himself in the eyes of the Adelaide Crows supporters and his teammates. Can't do it. Harley did well. And Graham gets it and goes bang onto the wing with a beautiful kick. Corey should have called Steinford back onto it. In the end, he takes the mark anyway. And he can go long. He can go very... Oh, he didn't go very long. He just went nowhere.
Amazing. He just ran a couple of metres too far and then the players were out of position further down the ground.
Well, Biglands is coming from the ground. Stenglein is going to come on, but they've got such an inexperienced full forward line or forward 50 group of players at the moment, Adelaide. It's not surprising.
Here's another bomb.
Stenglein trying to get on to the end of that one. Goodwin kept it alive. Stenglein goes again. In good position to take it. Scarlett got a fairly cruel bounce. Well done, McGregor. Rashudo will try and get on his left. He just barged through the old bulldozer, and it did the trick, and he dribbles it through for a goal. Much needed.
Catch Walt Disney Pictures' Dinosaur and rush into McDonald's for a chance to win Hondas, holidays and thousands of food prizes instantly by playing McHatch Match and Win. So get cracking to McDonald's.
There's no better choice when it comes to car insurance.
Well, a badly needed goal for Adelaide. Kicked by Mark Rashudo, close to half-time. Darren Milburn, little hand pass. OK Harley. Wasn't Harley terrific in that passage of play that involved he and Biglands back there on the goal line just a moment or so ago. The ball punched away for a boundary throw-in. Snell, McGrath, Ling and Clark, by the look of it there, on the interchange bench for Geelong. Kick forward. Stenglein a chance to gather. No, it's Johnson actually. Didn't he spin out of trouble nicely and then kick the ball forward? McGregor couldn't take the mark. At the fall of the ball is Stenglein. Bradshaw in all sorts of strife there is Harley, and he's being penalised for not moving the ball on. He fell over, probably taken down in the tackle in my opinion, but Crowell is advantaged by that umpiring decision and will shoot for Adelaide's 7th goal. And importantly, Adelaide, after looking out of it about 3 or 4 minutes ago, getting a goal through Mark Rashudo, maybe another goal here through Crowell, and the margin back to just 18 points. That was the incident that led to this free kick being paid to Andrew Crowell, and he has kicked a behind.
He certainly dragged it under, didn't he, Harley, that time?
1 goal, 1 to Crowell. 7th behind to Adelaide. Margin 23 points in favour of Geelong.
10-6 to 6-7. Graham, his kick does fall short.
This bloke's had 17 kicks.
All in relative terms. Graham's kick didn't go 80, it went 70. James unloads towards full forward. Graham will have to spoil here against McGregor. He did that well, but still Adelaide able to attack. Eccles giving some space for Johnson to try and get clear. The look-away handball. Eccles just poking it wide. It was a good kick. It's still very wide, but at least we've got it on 50. Vardy just outside a minute remaining in the quarter, so one more goal vital. Big difference psychologically, I think, between the 4-goal margin and the 3-goal margin. As Vardy, good-looking kick right to the line, and in the end, it's gone through off hands for behind. So 50 seconds remaining in the quarter, and it's 10-6 against 6-8 at Shell Stadium late in this second quarter.
Kicking in duties now being entrusted to Brenton Sanderson.
Nothing really to go to.
And he's hesitating and then decides to go long. Stephen King, well done. The two number ones, but one went at it with just a little bit more seriousness about him, and he took the mark. Stephen King, a short one. Kilpatrick has been pretty good. When he's out of the side, they seem to lose a little bit of momentum around the middle, but by gee, Kilpatrick gets his share of the football when he's playing in this Geelong lineup. Oh, good mark taken by Minch from behind. Judged it well, and then, rather arrogantly, gets rid of Bassett and goes for goal. David Minch, which way will it bounce? A goal! A goal! A goal to Minch! Incredible bounce! And Minch has kicked 3.
Well, we're going to have a look at this again, but I just wonder whether Nigel Smart couldn't have got to that ball on the full. He really did take his life into his own hands. It was well and truly Harry said. So it was just one of those fluky bounces that happen when things are running for you, and that's what's happening here at Geelong. David Minch has kicked 3 goals now. He's had a few ups and downs this season, but right at the moment he's having an up.
Well, it's only 10 seconds on the clock, so that goal absolutely crucial for the Cats as they go into half-time. Now enjoying close to a 5-goal lead. And a few moments ago, Adelaide could have cut it to 3. So half-time from Shell Stadium, and Geelong 11-6-72, leading Adelaide 6-8-44, Jared.
Well, it's an amazing game of footy. How can you be that bad one week? Just 7 days ago, and well, as good as Geelong have been so far in the first half. And I think right at this stage, Adelaide will be having their own supporters questioning their commitment, Hutto, because they've only got half a dozen players playing at their very best. At half-time, Geelong take a significant lead into the break.
You thought Mitch was ready to get married.
I said, get out!
Mitch, I think we've got a problem.
You thought Terry was out of the picture.
What about the ex-boyfriend?
Think again.
Don't do this, Mitch.
Tuesday, 8:30 on 7's All Saints.
Whoa, here come the Repco Big League Legends. Racing FX car mats, 4 colours available, only $25.95 a set. Seat covers $27.95 a pair. Formula 2001 protected, scratch and swirl remover and express shine polish, $7.95 each. CRC 556 cleans, lubricates and protects, just $5.99. Mobil Synth S15W50 synthetic motor oil, 5 litres, only $22.95. Legendary brands at legendary prices. Available at all Repco stores.
Catch Walt Disney Pictures' Dinosaur and rush into McDonald's for a chance to win a sporty Honda HR-V by playing McHatch Match and Win. So get cracking to McDonald's.
Everybody has different needs at different times of life. That's why NIB has a range of health cover to suit you, whether you're single, a couple, or a family. And right now, it's the time of your life to join, because the lifetime health cover deadline has now been extended to July 15. Join now and we'll waive the normal 6-month waiting period. Call 13 14 63 and get covered for a lifetime with NIB.
King breaks out of the pack, running the ball around the boundary. 1 bounce, 2 bounce.
The grand final grab. Grab a winning hand,
Real chance now.
or grab a West End beer
Lines up the big ones.
at any of the casino's bars or restaurants during July.
Scores! Oh, what a goal!
And you could grab one of 5 trips for 2 to the AFL Grand Final.
What a grab! He'd have to have the best hands in the country.
The grand final grab. Call the Adelaide Casino or listen to 5AA for details.
From goal, and he scored!
Exercise. You only have to take it regularly, not seriously.
Sorry, I won't be home for dinner.
Sorry, my side of the bed's always cold.
Sorry if I'm not the girl next door.
Sorry if you don't believe in resurrections.
For all that weird stuff in the fridge.
If you think I've overstayed my welcome.
Sorry I ate all the eggs. I left the yolks.
Can we talk about this later?
I'd like to say it won't happen again, but...
Sorry, Dennis. Sorry about your CAT scan.
I'm not up on the latest stock market trends.
Sorry, Premier League.
We don't have a cool nickname.
Sorry, I can't walk home from school with you.
Sorry. Who do you feel sorry for? You know what? I'm not going to be home for a while. Sorry.
Many men get caught doing it.
What happened this time?
Having affairs with their work.
Okay, is your work usually like this?
This will test their relationship.
I don't want to get in the way of anything.
That's Once and Again, Tuesday on 7.
Welcome back to Shell Stadium, half-time, and Geelong 11-6-72. Adelaide are 6-8-44. It is a very interesting half of football we've seen. The Cats on top in the end. Burns and Mensch with 3 goals, 2 to Bizzle, and for the Crows, 2 to Mark Rasciuto, the major goal kickers. And Gerard, we have a look at some of the highlights of the first half, and Clint Bizzle, at one stage I think I said he had 2 kicks and 2 marks and 2 goals.
Well, he was on the end of this passage of play. It's just turned 25, so there's 4 players involved that are all of the right age. If you're a Cat supporter, all youngsters, all coming through, all going to play significant roles for your side over the next decade or so. But that was a great jump at full forward. He went back and kicked a goal, and they've had a few of those players producing their best, producing some spark. Adelaide, it's difficult to find them.
Yeah, I think the smaller forwards for Geelong, you talked about it in your preview of the match and how important they are for the Cats. And here's a couple of them working together. Houlihan, of course, Ronnie Burns.
Well, it's amazing what sort of barometer the small forwards are for Geelong. When they win, they kick 68 or so percentage of their score. And when they lose, they are well down, somewhere around the 29%. I know there's a variation there, but they did have a draw. So if the small forwards are playing particularly well for Geelong, then it almost means that they are going to win this game. But here we see once again the ball shooting out to Rocking, and Ronnie, he's on fire. He's had Ben Hart. Actually, Ben Hart has stopped attacking the ball. I watched him here late in that quarter. Ben's just watching Ronnie Burns, and not watching the football. And Ben Hart plays his best when he really is on the attack.
Intensity, you talked about it during that quarter and the difference between Geelong and Adelaide and just the desperation. And we'll see here a sensational smother from Clint Bizzle.
Well, I think at this stage, that is the sort of stuff that wins your football matches. And I think right at this stage, the Adelaide players would be very thankful that Sam Newman doesn't support the Adelaide Crows, because I think he'd be saying exactly the same thing. They have lacked intensity. I think they've got half a dozen players that are playing somewhere near their best, but they are just really, they're just not competing in that loose ball situation with the Cats. And I just wonder whether Gary Edge isn't going to have to turn it around. He's got 4 of his best 6 players playing in defence behind the footy, the likes of McLeod, Smart. Robin's playing an excellent game. Smart's really not getting near the footy. Rasciuto went forward and kicked a goal, and Ben Hart also. And those are the sort of players that may well need to be pushed forward to the centre, or at least onto the ball. And, well, we saw what could happen. Rasciuto was well tagged by Steinford, went forward in the last few minutes, got 1 possession inside the forward 50 and dribbled a very dangerous one through.
Well, just to finish on this goal from David Mensch, quite amazing, the fickle nature of footy and the way the ball can bounce.
Yeah, well, sometimes they go for you and sometimes they go against. And, well, a leg break of extraordinary proportions, Hutto.
Well, in the end, that made the margin 28 points at half-time. We'll take a break and check out the action from the MCG when we come back.
This news update brought to you by Colonial's personal insurance portfolio.
Good afternoon. Coming up at 6 on 7 News, the SNFL reveals how they're going to make football parks safe again for families to go to the footy after a youngster found and pricked himself with a used syringe. Those details for all of those going to the game there tomorrow. Also at 6, the great comeback of Pat Rafter. He's into the final of Wimbledon. And what about these? They'll put a spring in your step. Rocket boots to launch you along at 50 kilometres an hour. We'll have the details at 6 in 7 News.
We all know how important the Rocket brothers are to the Magpies. Can you remember what happens next?
Of course, not a good kick. To Shaw, to Francis. Goes for goal with a high one. Good kick, great kick.
Yep, the big Sav is about to show some skills. If you know what happened next, then call, and you could win these great prizes.
A trip for two to the UK for the AFL Tour and $3,000 spending money, a $5,000 Mitre 10 voucher, and an autographed Club 10 jumper.
Do you want to go to a really humongous party? Coca-Cola is giving away 90,000 tickets nationally to Redfest, their Olympic opening ceremony parties in 5 capital cities. Catch the action on this. Plus, you'll see bands, pro skateboarding, celebrity basketball. Check those blades. DJs, dance tents, and way more. Be first to send in 15 Coca-Cola tokens to get your ticket. But hurry, there are limited tickets to Redfest and they'll go as fast as an ice-cold Coke on a hot, hot day. Hit Redfest for more and enjoy.
The lifetime health cover deadline has been extended, so run for cover now. Get covered immediately. Join by July 15. Call 13 14 63 and get covered for a lifetime with NIB.
At a new Adelaide Metro Go Zone, 7:30am to 6:30pm, Monday to Friday, you'll never wait longer than 15 minutes for a bus. Look for a red Go Zone stop.
Adelaide's best home loan, Great Southern Loan, just got better, and here's why. Your salary now goes straight into your loan and repays it quicker. The loan service line gives you easy access to your money as you need it. This flexibility with the low standard variable interest rate and no ongoing fees cannot be arranged by your bank or loan broker. Support the local Adelaide business that is helping thousands of South Australians own their homes sooner. Call Great Southern Loan now for a free brochure.
Sunday, July 30, Clipsal Powerhouse. Talent like you've never seen before takes centre stage. It's the Canberra Crows Westpac Players Concert. These Hollywood hopefuls will show you just why they make better footballers and entertainers. Get along and be part of the fun by booking your tickets through VenueTix.
The ball, the King breaks out of the pack, running the ball around the boundary. 1 bounce, 2 bounce.
The grand final grab. Grab a winning hand.
Real chance now.
Or grab a West End beer.
Lines up the big ones.
At any of the casinos, bars or restaurants during July. And you could grab one of 5 trips for 2 to the AFL Grand Final.
What a grab! He'd have to have the best hands in the country.
The Grand Final grab. Call the Adelaide Casino or listen to 5AA for details.
Have you ever got your car back from a repairer only to find it wasn't? Look for the RAA approved repairer sign.
The Pies have arrived at Shell Stadium. It must be half-time. Geelong 11-6-72 and Adelaide 6-8-44. So the Cats leading by 28 points. Both these teams, of course, hoping to be part of the finals and maybe the grand final. And you too could be part of the grand final with the Toss the Coin competition.
How would you like to toss the coin at this year's grand final? $2.50 could make this possible. Entry coupons are available from Australia Post. Game at the Oval and the International Rules game in Dublin. Proceeds benefit Australian Rotary and the Olympic Games team.
Well, one of the best ways to get to the grand final is to finish in the top 4, and the performance by Geelong today certainly helping their chances of holding on to 4th place. One of their main opponents in that race is Melbourne, and they're playing Sydney today at the MCG. Let's check out some highlights from the first half.
With strength, gets it away. Woden needs clean hands, does well to McDonald, should run in, should kick a goal. Melbourne's first on the board. Most clubs these days, Paul, allow that first kick inside 50, don't they?
Yeah, they do. It just makes it so harder for they just block up around outside 50, Melbourne did, and they're happy to concede that short kick.
And Kelly runs onto the kick from Luff. If they get the ball quickly down there, there's not much you could do about this. Kelly missed an easy goal in the first few moments of the game. This time from right on 50. Stands and delivers straight through the centre.
Bounce favours Stafford, but White had momentum up and he gets it going Melbourne's way. James McDonald out of the middle, 50 metres on the run. Great goal.
Pounced on and some dancing feet that time by Johnson. Goes short, finds Green. Didn't hit his target. Rigoni was a bit hot. Well backed up by Uze. Runs to 50. Unloads. Big kick. Big goal. Still across half-back. Beautiful kick. Looks for Whelan, who's had the job playing on Paul Kelly. To Rigoni. Great smother off the boot. Tremendous play by O'Loughlin. Back to James McDonald. Pumps the ball high. Schwartz tries to take a one-hander. Kicked off the ground by Johnston. It rolls over the line. He's got it. Stafford takes that front position. They work the ball to Creswell. Danger here for Melbourne. Creswell, long shot. Some run through Maxfield. There's a thumping kick. Just pumps the ball high into the pocket. Standing his ground in front was knocked away from Kelly, who just hits his opponent hard. McDonald, good clean hands, being pinched that time by Armat. Sets it up. Under pressure, back to Armat. Quick snap. Hammers it home.
So a big match there at the MCG, and some stations are taking a replay, so if you don't want to know the score, look away now. Any game, in fact, on video, name a game is the way to do it. 1800 035 665 or on the World Wide Web at aflvideo.com.au. We'll take a break from Shell Stadium and come back with a bounce of the ball in the third quarter. It's the Cats by 28 at the main break.
The big sports events keep coming on Australia's leading sports network. This is Channel 7, Australia's Olympic network.
Do you want to go to a really humongous party? Coca-Cola is giving away 90,000 tickets nationally to Renfest, their Olympic opening ceremony parties in 5 capital cities. Catch the action on this. Plus, you'll see bands, pro skateboarding, celebrity basketball. Check those blades. DJs, dance tents, and way more. Be first to send in 15 Coca-Cola tokens to get your ticket.
But hurry, there are limited tickets to Renfest and they'll go as fast as an ice-cold Coke on a hot, hot day. Hit Renfest for more and enjoy.
We all know how important the Rocket Brothers are to the Magpies. Can you remember what happens next?
Of course, not a good kick. To Shaw, to Francis. Goes for goal with a high one. Good kick, great kick.
Yep, the Big Sav is about to show some skills. If you know what happened next, then call, and you could win these great prizes.
A trip for 2 to the UK for the AFL Tour and $3,000 spending money, a $5,000 Mitre 10 voucher, and an autographed Club 10 jumper.
Have you ever got your car back from a repairer only to find it wasn't? Look for the RAA approved repairer sign.
This is good. This is very good. Oh, this is good. It's Truscott's Good Sale, White Goods Sale, with very good prices on all kinds of white goods. Like this Fisher & Paykel 5.5 kilo washer, a good $20 off. This Westinghouse 390 litre frost-free fridge, a good $60 saving. Save a good $23 on this Simpson 4.5 kilo dryer. And get a good $20 off this Dishlex stainless steel dishwasher. It's Truscott's Good White Goods Sale. Adelaide's lowest prices with up to 24 months interest-free terms. That's good.
Adelaide's best home loan, Great Southern Loan, just got better, and here's why. Your salary now goes straight into your loan and repays it quicker. The loan service line gives you easy access to your money as you need it. This flexibility with the low standard variable interest rate and no ongoing fees cannot be arranged by your bank or loan broker. Support the local Adelaide business that is helping thousands of South Australians own their homes sooner. Call Great Southern Loan now for a free brochure.
Most of us take the ability to walk for granted, but some don't. The Riding for the Disabled Association provides much-needed mobility for children and adults with disabilities. Riding and driving improves balance and posture and builds self-esteem and self-confidence. Riding for the Disabled is a voluntary organisation and they need your help.
You too can make a difference. Donations are tax deductible, so why don't you do what you can to give them a leg up?
To start the third quarter at Shell Stadium, AFL Saturday, and the Cats in front by 28 points over the Adelaide Crows. Let's have a look at some of the Mitsubishi Motors team stats for the first half.
And when you're looking at stats today, Gary Hocking has been a dominant feature. He's getting a lot of possession and he's very effective with what he does. David Mensch, with his 3 goals, has also been a significant player with Ronnie Burns. David Clark's having a good battle with Connell on the wing. Connell perhaps just on top in that one, but Clark spent some time on the bench. And Carl Steinford with 11 possessions is equalising the output of Mark Rasciuto for the Adelaide Crows, which is no mean feat. Stephen King, one of their better players in that half as well.
Well, Matt Connell, most effective as far as possessions gathered. McLeod down, you can see there. Robin was good early. Crowell had the chance to kick a couple of goals, and Goodwin was a good player early. Sean Wren, who I think is a very influential player, doing pretty well.
Let's get to Dipper and an update on Mark Bickley. Dipper.
Yeah, look, unfortunately he has a swollen underneath area. But look, he's going to have a bit of a run, maybe back on. But the big news down here is that Nigel Smart is on the bench. Looks like he's got a cracked jaw and probably won't take part in this game. And look, this game's not over yet, I can tell you, because Adelaide just have to lift their work rate and they can be back in this game. And Geelong really have got to take the initiative in this third quarter. But bad news there for those 2 players for the Crows.
That's going to really hurt them out, isn't it, though, in their attempts to win this game if Smart and Bickley both aren't playing?
Well, I think one of the significant factors is that Matthew Robrin, who's been one of their best players all season, and certainly today started at centre-half forward. They need somebody with a bit of experience and nous up in that forward line.
Well, they've gone forward straight away. Johnson's kick was probing, but that's an excellent grab by Harley, and the Cats away again. Breaking to the near side. Scholl took a long time to decide where to go, and he gets Ben Graham from defensive 50 up to centre-half forward. Burns has to play as a marking player. Surely he took the mark. Maybe he didn't.
Well, the umpire was on the blind side. He wouldn't have known one way or the other, so he was going to only guess. And, well, I think Ronnie may have just let it slip through to the ground.
Oh, yes, he did. Yep, so it was a good call. King trying to hold his position, and Milburn, as he does quite often, floating over the top. Snell playing in front. Gallagher right there with him. And the umpire deciding to bounce it. Buddha Hocking, as always, in the middle of the pack as we see the Geelong bench.
Wren has taken the bounce, gone to centre-half forward, and it looks like Robin is now taking that position as the mobile ruckman up against King. See how he goes. King will just take his line. And good work there by Robin.
Good smother by Hocking. And he attacks the footy again. Edwards did well, just managed to keep it alive, and eventually McLeod, with a haphazard manner, can send them forward. McGrath hasn't had a stat yet. Brilliantly done by Goodwin. He just lost his footing at the crucial stage, and now he's in trouble. It was a pity because it was superb stuff. The umpire's going to have words to Matty Scarlett here. And now he lets him go. Handball to Hocking, who unloads. Ling, a tough one. Backing back, Caven on the ground. Well tackled by Bizzle. Hart had to break a couple of tackles. Did. Biglands was crunched. This is Ling, close to the boundary. Usually uses it well. This time he lets me down and kicks it out on the full. He's got a good footy brain, Cameron Ling.
Do you want to get an idea of what that covered the line by? Just a very small margin, according to that young lady out there. Ben
Working
Hart.
beautifully, Robbo.
Ben Hart kicks the ball back towards the wing. No mark. Gathered here by Kilpatrick, who continues to get possessions, and so too does this player, Matt Connell. At half-time, you saw just a few moments ago, Matt Connell, 16 kicks, 6 marks. He's now taken his 7th mark, and he's also kicked a goal. The ball goes back towards the wing. Stengline and Milburn now throwing the ball against Milburn. Geelong supporters don't like that, but the free kick is with young Stengline. He kicks it in towards half-forward. Where are the players at the front of the pack? It's quite obvious the defender's going to punch in that area. Gathered here by Edwards. The kick up and under. Will it bounce in the favour of McLeod? Back goes Scarlett. He's caught with the ball. Umpire surely will bounce. Eventually. Took a long time to blow his whistle there, Mark Nash. It was decided about 70 metres out from the Adelaide goal to bounce the ball. Peter Vardy and Brenton Sanderson running back into the forward 50. Adelaide searching for their 7th goal. They trail, but the margin is still there if they're good enough. David Clark kicks it wide and finds the safety of the boundary line. David Clark with 12 possessions. Kilpatrick 13, Steinford 11, Gary Hocking 18, Milburn 14. Houlihan 3, 1 goal 2 to Adam Houlihan. Boundary throw in. Favours Wren, gets it down. Milburn overruns it. In goes Stengline, confronts the opponent in Scarlett, and the ball is in there somewhere. The umpire will call for a bounce. Left half forward for Adelaide, badly needing to kick at least 2 goals quickly to give them some sort of impetus to go into this second half. Neither side to add to their goal tally from half-time as yet. Johnson, Houlihan.
Taken high, Johnson.
Handball, Gary Hocking. Bit of a mongrel punt kick towards half-forward, and could have been marked back there by Biglands. Instead, he knocked it to the feet of Steinford. Geelong a chance. No, good effort back there by Bassett.
Yeah, but
kept his eyes right on the ball.
Yeah, just on Bigland. That was just lack of talk by the Crows players. I mean, you know, he had plenty of room to take that mark then.
Johnson as they try and switch play, but they didn't have enough, in the end, enough men running and loose to be able to affect the switch. Connell went in short, but he goes for a longer lead from Wren. It wasn't bad. King got there, though, to stop the second marking attempt. And Wren unable to take the first grab, says to the umpire. King got behind. Umpire says throw it in. 11-6 to 6-8. So both teams just feeling each other out at the start of this third quarter. You do get the feeling the first goal could be fairly decisive. Obviously, if Geelong kicks it, it's going to make Adelaide's task very difficult indeed. The shooter kicking out on the full. Milburn or Ling. The umpire says it's Ling's ball. That'll be handy for the Cats. He's a more penetrating kick. Sets it up towards Biglands and Mensch. Mensch was strong, and Hocking always strong. Found a way through, and his left foot kick just missed the target. But arriving on the scene, Snell stole the ball and then missed everything.
Dipper, we both thought at half-time that if Adelaide really reassessed and came out firing, that they could turn this round pretty quickly. But have you seen anything to date that suggests that's going to happen?
And not so, you know, nothing at all. We see a Geelong player just been hit behind play down here, Jared. And with Nigel Smart also off the ground, you know, it does put a big ask on the Crows players. But Rashudo's got to pick his game up and rob them. You know, just got to start running and running.
David Mensch.
Yeah, you wonder how that happened without anyone seeing it. And what happened? Edwards clears it onto the wing.
There's 2 Geelong players down now, boys.
There is 2. Been known to be a few seagulls down Geelong way. There's the kick out wide. That's a good
bloody seagulls.
Good mark taken by Clark. Cats with 1 down. Mensch is up. Oh, what a leap from Bizzle. Who else? Gazza-like as he takes the mark.
Oh, he's in serious trouble, David Mensch.
Now, Mensch is up.
Mensch got up a moment or so ago.
Serious trouble.
Would it be Steinford?
He looks as if he's...
Yep, Steinford. Now he's up too.
That was trouble anyway.
I don't know what the smelling salts they're using out there.
It's amazing, isn't it? But another bit of excitement in Aussie football provided by Clint Bizzle.
He took the mark of the week last week, and he's having a fair crack at it again this week. Already taken 1 beauty. Somewhat hesitantly, but he jabs it right through the middle.
It was one of the greatest moments in Australian rugby.
Goal attempt from Marker.
And our nation held its breath.
Marker has put Australia in the lead.
Get ready for the rematch. Australia versus South Africa. Live tonight on 7. One of the last great war secrets revealed. 20 million in gold 3 miles down to the bottom. The breathtaking premiere special. Search for the submarine I-52 tonight.
Interesting that Ben Graham went to the umpire and said one of my players is hurt. Have a look at the blood pool here. And he forced his player to come off, maybe just to keep the game at a standstill, yeah.
Steady the ship momentarily so that the matchups can be reassessed. But King, beaten for it on this occasion by Wren, gathered by Robran. Selection for Stengline, then Edwards. Edwards into the forward pocket area. Crowell, good mark. Good passage of play by Adelaide, winning the centre bounce through Sean Wren, and the ball finishing with Andrew Crowell going for goal number 2. And a badly needed 7th goal for Adelaide.
Harley's probably more at home with a taller forward than Andrew Crowell, who's a bit more of a fast leading full forward, so maybe that's Gary Ayres thinking at this stage with a smaller full forward.
Crowell goes for goal, kicks it quite nicely for distance. The accuracy about 4 out of 10, and helped over by the Geelong defence for a behind. 6-9 to 12-6, 33 points the advantage for Geelong early in the second half. Brenton Sanderson preparing to bring it back. Looked as though he was going for Kilpatrick, now being asked to move it on by the central umpire, Mark McKenzie. Kicks it well outside the defensive 50. The punch on, lands the ball in the path of Vardy. Very much a goal kicker, Peter Vardy. Kicks towards the full forward area, and McGregor has marked from behind young Matthew Scarlett. And there must have only been centimetres in that, because McGregor, with his second attempt at grasping the football, was close to the line. Look at that angle.
It's a tough one, but for the sake of this game, Robbo, for a competitiveness' point of view, this one's got to go through, because the Crows have been just going through the motions since half-time.
McGregor runs around and hits the post, I think. Yes, he has. So nothing happening for Adelaide. They've only got one multiple goal kicker. That's Mark Rasciuto's kicked 2. Geelong, on the other hand, have 3 players with 3 goals apiece. Ronnie Burns, Clint Bizzle and David Mensch. Sanderson once again.
Try again, the Adelaide zone working pretty effectively at the moment. Cats trying to find holes, forced to go short, Milburn. But they really haven't gone anywhere. McGrath breaks to the outer side, then he has to double back. Scholl ends up being a one-on-one option against Connell. He's in front, couldn't mark. Connell did well, spoiled. King over the ball. Scholl again, battling for it. Good hands there, allowing Robran to get clear, and Rasciuto tried to find Wren. McLeod says he'll come in, take it away, chipped it up, good kick. Milburn desperate at the end, but McGregor took enough of the ball, or mark or free kick. It was actually paid in the end. So much better position to shoot at goal as far as accuracy is concerned here. And it really took Andrew McLeod to come in and just take the ball and say, I'm going to do something decisive to give Adelaide a good chance at scoring a goal. 6-10. Ken McGregor.
Let's see if he can get himself a goal on the board.
Going for his second from 45. Not bad off the boot, but just misses a bit away to the right. Thanks, Robbo. So
glad you didn't take notice of me then, Hunter.
6-11.
The 2 fingers up
to 12-6.
I'm still getting over Patrick Swayze.
Good on you, Dip. As we watch Brenton Sanderson just hesitating, but then deciding to go long, and not a bad ploy. And the mark is taken by David Clark in front of a pack of 2 or 3 players. His kick into the middle, punched away by Johnson. Gets it back, crashes through the tackle. Hand passes forward. McLeod wider still. He's got the player in support.
Look at Goodwin.
And that player is James, but his kick is ordinary. Sanderson gets back and marks, and maybe Geelong can transfer the football from one end to the other on this members' side. Brad Scholl and Gary Hocking to Ben Graham. They will now. They'll get in their forward half as a result of this kick. And Ben Graham just bangs it to centre half forward. Marking contest. Houlihan couldn't quite take the football with him. Mensch played the advantages for Snell. Will the bounce favour Snell? Very awkward. He's got 3 players right onto him, and the spillage not quite gathered there for Adelaide. Eventually Bassett, little right foot kick out wide, but that is to the advantage of the big Geelong ruckman in King, and he intelligently gets it short to Scarlett. Scarlett kicked a goal in the second term. On this occasion kicks it forward, and the mark has been taken. Has it by Snell? No, not paid, and the umpire, Brett Allen, will ball it up in the left forward pocket for Geelong. Geelong 12-6, 78, lead Adelaide 6-11-47. 11 minutes left in the third term.
Well, Adelaide must defend for their life here. Another goal would just about spell the end. Still plenty of time, obviously, at this quarter and the last, but you just wouldn't see them coming back the way the Cats are playing at the moment unless Adelaide can kick the next one or two goals.
Well, importantly, Mo, McLeod is getting himself into this game.
Yep.
How about the smother out there by young Scarlett?
Had a pretty good game, Matthew Scarlett. 12-6-78, playing 6-11-47. And that's another example, as we said, of Geelong's desperation today. King against Robran in the ruck this time. And Hocking, he's given them great service throughout the afternoon, as is this man, Milburn. Mensch will be third in line, and he put his hand up in line. Take the mark. He's within range. He likes to go back quickly and try and... Oh, his kick was smothered. Kilpatrick coming through. Still he's coming through. The little hand pass wasn't bad. Clark banged it onto the boot. Unfortunately for David Clark, he's out of bounds on the full.
They're desperately trying to get Steinfeld back on the ground, who did a terrific job on Rashudo, so we're expecting him to be back on shortly.
What's wrong with him, Dipper?
Just had a cut eye there, Gerard, that's patching him up.
Well, the kick by Connell lands the ball out close to centre wing. Adelaide trying desperately to get it forward. Ben Graham, tackled by Edwards, got the hand pass away. Handball goes back towards the middle of the ground. Goodwin harassed beautifully by Brad Scholl. Harassed beautifully by Brad Scholl.
That was the word, wasn't it? Harassed.
And forced an error. Well, not an error, but at least forced a boundary throw in. And there's some interesting stats. Geelong have gone inside 50 on 43 occasions to 25 for Adelaide. And it really is reflecting on the scoreboard. Geelong 12-6, lead Adelaide 6-11. Plenty of time for either side to score 2 or 3 goals in this third term remaining. Bounce awkward. Ben Hart, good tap down, and eventually taken over by Stengline. Left half forward for Geelong, about 80 metres around from their goal.
10 minutes remaining of actual playing time, so about midway through this third quarter. And Adelaide need to get a move on. Cats would be pretty happy to bottle it up, I would think. And as you can see there, it has been a long time between drinks for the Crows. 12-6 plays 6-11. King took position, but Robran got a hand to it. Spriggs did well to keep Hocking involved. His hand pass dangerous. Burns conceding ground, but allowing Clark to run onto it, and he'll use his pace here, back himself in against Connell and send a high kick towards full forward. Houlihan went down, staying up. There's Bizzle. He shrugs the tackle though, kept it up and alive, and now Houlihan goes again. That's well wrapped up, and he didn't really make much of an effort to get rid of it. The ball bounced in the forward pocket.
David Clark's legs just going too quickly for himself when he gets the ball on the run. And the mind is thinking, but the leg's going too fast for himself.
Yeah, his technique just leaves a little bit to be desired when he's running flat out, but geez, to his credit, he's had a very good game this evening, or this afternoon. Down goes Connolly's opponent.
Here's Goodwin. Just a little give there, was okay in the end. They need to be clean here. Oh, lucky for Kilpatrick that he missed there, I think. Hand pass away from Johnson was a bit wild and woolly. They're out of trouble, but only for a moment. Spriggs must get a free kick against McLeod, and could be 50, not paid. McGregor not sure which way the free was going and thought it might have been Adelaide's way. Banged it onto the boot. Spriggs has got mentioned short, but besides against that, Ling also provides a lead. Bizzle's down in the square. Graham was a floater down there as well.
Graham, didn't he?
Yeah, might have been the best option. Connell towards the line. And did well. Good kick, yeah. Gets... Oh! McLeod. Kilpatrick late on the scene. McLeod gliding from half-back and kicking to McGregor back with the flight. Wasn't a really good kick for position. Edwards was going so fast that he didn't know what to do once he got there and got the ball. Good work from Scholl. Took them all on. Good rugged stuff. Good work, though, by Goodwin, who comes through and is well dispossessed. Rashudo again. It opens up to his right. Oh, well, it was wobbly stuff. Quick kick from Wren was pretty good, but not good enough. All catch back there, Scholl, and now McGrath. As McGrath gets his first touch for the day and finds Ben Graham, who can roost one from half-back.
Big kick by Ben Graham, goes in towards half-forward. Good mark. Terrific mark taken by Snell. Front posse. And well marked. Just lets himself down a little. Oh, good mark, Mensch. David Mensch continues to provide a target and provide value for money. He's going for his 4th goal, and it'll be 4 out of 13.
Patrick Swayze couldn't quite get there, your mate Red Biglan's, Robbo, could he?
Well, David Mensch, when he put his hands in the air, he was difficult to get over the top of, and he converts beautifully. 4 goals to David Mensch.
Here's a couple renovating their home. Unfortunately, he's put his foot in it.
Up on that side
and
there.
These two could do with some advice.
I'll tell you when it's level. I'll hold it.
And here's the Mitre 10 advice line. 136310. So now you can call any day and get expert on-the-job solutions.
We can fix it. Yep.
From the specialists at the store that understands it's not just the low price. It's getting the right advice that really saves you money.
Chisel a bit off the other end. Chisel a bit off the other end.
Some concerns for the Adelaide coach, Gary Ayres, who was in the other coach's box this time last year.
Yes, a bit of doom and gloom for Adelaide.
And Steinford back on the ground. Australians Rashudo and Milburn is on the bench.
Milburn's had a pretty good day as well. 16 possessions, 6 marks. Gary Hockings had 23 possessions for the Cats. David Clark 17, Kilpatrick 15. For Adelaide, Connell leading possession winner with 22. 21 of them have been kicks. Steinford wrapped up. And Rashudo 18 possessions. Bassett 14. Robin 13. But they've certainly missed Bickley and they've missed Smart since he's been off the ground as well. So certainly injury factors working against the Adelaide Crows. Wren. There's Caven over the top of it. Did drag it under. And now penalised.
Gary Hocking right onto that.
You could see that was going to happen now. Graham, he's going to have to watch out to get to his left. He could have a crack at the square. Bizzle back in back. Mensch is there as well. Pushing and shoving. Crows with numbers. Biglands. This is Hart now. Got Wren off half back. He had Caven inboard. He popped it over the top to both Caven and McLeod. And now it's McLeod. And go. A green light ahead. Open spaces in the forward line. He'll try and find Crow, you would think, with the pass. Or Vardy. And it's Vardy that he spots up on 50. But only Geelong players between he and the goals. Robin pushing down on the other side of the ground to be a target if he's not confident he can kick a goal. And Peter Vardy has had 2 kicks for the day. 2 marks. I wonder if he will have a shot here. Oh, it's got pretty good distance. Robin right on the line!
Oh, guilty!
Oh, Matty Robin! Spectacular stuff.
Well, it had to be a goal or a Robin mark, didn't it?
Oh, wasn't that terrific?
Because that was right on the line. And, well, finally, something from the Crows to get excited about. And let's hope that this can spark it up a bit because Matthew Robin has been one of the few players to produce for them for the whole match. That was a corker of a mark.
Classic stuff. We've seen some great grabs from Clint Bizzle. And Matthew Robin tops it off with a goal.
He's got a lot of natural talent, hasn't he, Matthew Robin? He kicks the ball well. He handles the ball well. He's a big man. He can play in the ruck. He can play centre-half back, centre-half forward. And this spectacular leap and mark.
It was Modra-like, wasn't it?
Well, he nearly got himself in a position where he couldn't quite reach the ball. He had to go up in the air and then reach back out again.
Back again, but that was a fantastic fill-up for the Crows. And Robin is in the square along with Sean Wren, so I'm not sure if both players are supposed to be in there, but let's hope for the sake of this match, which has really been quite just a boring affair over the last 25 minutes. Let's hope that can spark a bit of a comeback.
Well, Wren tries to get his fist to it, but it goes down to Snell. Burns knocking it on. Well done by Ben Hart to stand his ground. Then Stengline to Robran. Good hand pass in tight situation. Found McLeod. McLeod towards full forward. Good kick and mark. That's Crowell in front of his face once again and out in front of Tom Harley. Andrew Crowell, who's had limited opportunities, has led pretty well. We watch Biglands come off the ground and Welsh goes on to replace the big fellow, and Snell coming off the ground.
He's got Peter Cave in a AFL grand final, dual grand final, centre-half back, going on the bench.
Crowell goes for goal. Good kick. Good kick by Andrew Crowell's a goal to the Crows.
You really got me going. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing now. Yeah, you really got me going. You got me so I don't know what I'm doing now. Oh yeah, you really got me now. You got me so I can't midnight. You really got
The powerful Magna V6. One drive and you're hooked.
And Ben Graham now is also in the middle of the ground, and it's important times for Geelong.
8th possession of the quarter for McLeod, setting up that last goal, but there's a free kick at the centre square, and it's going to King.
If Adelaide are to win, they've got to stop Geelong from scoring in the remaining 3.5 minutes and get at least one back themselves.
He pushes it wide. Young Joel Corey couldn't quite get to the position to take the mark. Hard under pressure. Burns kept on going at him. Well done, and the ball over the line and out of bounds. And Ronnie Burns probably hasn't had an enormous amount of possessions. He has kicked 3 goals today, but he's done a fair bit of tackling and harassing, and they're the sort of things that obviously would make Mark Thompson pretty happy.
Just 8 possessions to Burns.
4 and 4, but he's kicked 3 goals. Wren. Done by King. Houlihan had support. Bizzle lost it. Hocking trying to get a productive hand pass. Couldn't really. McLeod not able to be locked up completely. And eventually Adelaide able to get out of trouble. Eccles one-on-one with Scarlett. Oh, Scarlett. Oh, could have got a free kick for a high tackle. Play on. Clark did that. Back to McGrath. Support from Scholl. Couple of plays at half forward. He just fires away, though. Houlihan. Oh, big leap over the top from Ben Hart. McLeod, less spectacular, but much more effective. Picks out Robin on the opposite side of the ground. Although he's got a couple of players he can link up with on the wing.
Was good play, wasn't it, Gerald?
One of them is Connell. Connell can take this, and with some shepherding can run almost to half forward.
Crowell.
And well spotted up, and a good mark. And there's Crowell on that lead. And with 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining, all of a sudden, Adelaide making a charge at the Cats.
Well, finally, there's been some system back in the Adelaide play with them bringing the ball from defence quickly into the forward line to give these young guys a bit of a chance. And well, I think Peter Caven going to centre-half back on the dangerous bench was probably, the move came about 20 or 25 minutes too late, but you just saw there his experience helped set this shot at goal up, and he's just pushed it to the right.
Yeah, play like Robin. I mean, he worked so hard then that, just using his skill level and his running ability, he's working in the middle of the ground from centre-half back to centre-half forward, doing it quite well.
24 points is the margin now.
Just under 2 minutes left, Hutto, in the third term.
Brendan Sanderson with the footy. Now he's told he has to go. They've had some troubles from their kick-ins, the Cats. Stephen King has been the target most times in the end when they have been unsure where to go, and it's probably not the bad option when you're not really sure to go along to your tallest man. But Adelaide keep it alive, and here's McLeod again trying to cut them through, this time with a handball. Goodwin unloads and misses, and really they're kicking at vital stages in this match. Has been very, very important this quarter. They've kicked 2 goals 5, and Geelong have kicked 2 goals straight. When the Cats kicked their second goal of the quarter, the margin was out at, I think, 37 points at that stage. And the way they were playing, they were all over the Crows. But Adelaide now must give themselves just a bit of a sniff. The margin is 23 points, and again they go to King. And that time, well, he was over Robin's head. But Robin is just giving them a lot at the moment as Rashudo goes short. And out very wide.
Eccles. Now, that kick went 10 1/4 metres. If the required distance is 10, that's about just over the required distance. Connell again. He's taken 10 marks and had 23 kicks. Sanderson blindly coughs it up. Robrin gets back.
And important for him because he could have had a shot, but very quickly plays the ball on.
Connell again into the pocket. Shot at goal by Eccles is a goal to Adelaide. Right on the three-quarter time break. And there's a bit of excitement in the corporate box off to the left of us. There's a few Adelaide supporters in there banging on the window because that goal from Andrew Eccles has given them some sniff of victory when at a certain stage in this third quarter, with Geelong controlled the game, it looked as though it was all the Cats. Gary Hocking trying to get out of the square. David Clark off the ground. Darren Milburn back on with less than a minute left in the third term.
So now we've got a competitive match, and you would think Mark Thompson would have to start looking very closely at who is minding Andrew McLeod and also what he's going to do about Matthew Robin.
Well, McLeod got them going again. It's 35 seconds remaining in this quarter. Still time. Edwards locked up and the ball to be bounced. 9-13 plays 13-6. 26 seconds. An important half minute or so. There he is, made his way down to watch these last few seconds so he can get out quickly to his players. He'll be encouraging them, no doubt, sensing he's got a chance. Scholl and the Cats trying to change all that. Corey down there, Milburn flew. Bizzle had to be good with the hands, he was. Burns' kick is long. Mitch might let it go. Oh, well done, Ronnie Burns and David Bench. Burns kicks his fourth, same spot as earlier in the match, and that will really sting the Adelaide Crows. Going to the break, and it's the second consecutive quarter when the Cats have done it. Remembering Mench's kick with 10 seconds to go in the last quarter.
I've been impressed with Scholl's preparedness to sacrifice personal stats to just make it difficult for his opponent and keep on putting pressure on any Adelaide player where he is around the action.
He's a quality player, Robbo. He's had his ups and downs. Obviously, we saw on the pre-match highlights that he was involved in a couple of poor passages of play, but he's produced the goods over many years here.
Well, you said that it was a very important passage of play, Hutto, when Ronnie Burns converted. David Bench had control of the circumstance down there. He and Ronnie Burns coming into the huddle together back on the forward 50-metre line for Geelong. But there's a little bit of an altercation behind play at the opposite end of the ground between about 8 players. But that goal for Geelong just steadied the ship ever so slightly. Adelaide making an attack, but Geelong 14-6. Leading Adelaide 9-13, margin 23 points at three-quarter time in favour of Geelong after they led by 37 at one stage in the third quarter.
Back with the last quarter after this.
Ci tengo la mia macchina, sai, è proprio un amore. Capirai, quindi, mi è venuto quasi un attacco cardiaco quando ha cominciato a fare bang, bang, bang. L'ho portato subito oltre Ciune e il meccanico mi ha detto che si trattava del timing. Hanno fatto la diagnosi, me l'hanno aggiustata e non mi hanno fatto pagare mica tanto, sai. Oltre Ciune, brava gente. I speak my language.
Who will be the Crows Player of the Decade? 7 News will give you the 7 official nominations. Can you guess who it is? We reveal the first nomination tonight on 7 News.
Great balls of fire! The $2.95 meatball sub from Subway. Subway special hot meatballs with tasty marinara sauce on a fresh-baked roll and all the salad you can handle. Hotter than hot, and now just $2.95 at Subway. At Truscott Hi-Fi, we've stretched and stretched and stretched our showroom in the city till it's double the size. Now it's so big, we're open every Sunday to give you time to check out all the bargains. Truscott Hi-Fi, we're open tomorrow.
Move it, stack it, lift it, or rack it.
Looking for materials handling equipment? Get with the strength. SA Fork Trucks. They offer the best deals on a vast range of world-famous Raymond and Nissan products. From pallet trucks, reach trucks, stackers, order pickers to the tough Nissan fork truck. Purchase, lease or hire anything for a day, a week, a month or even a year at very competitive rates. Call SA Fork Trucks now. 131 607.
Stop.
Only while stocks last. Hot Spring Spa Adelaide, 151 Richmond Road, Richmond.
At iHug, we make it easy to explore the internet with our flat rate account from just $27.95 a month. Plus, call iHug now on $1362.92 and we'll give you your first month free.
Most of us take the ability to walk for granted. Riding for the Disabled is a voluntary organisation and they need your help.
You too can make a difference. Donations are tax deductible, so why don't you do what you can to give them a leg up?
Whoa, here come the Repco Big League Legends. Valvoline SH 2050 Gold Label 6 litre bonus pack, now only $12.95. Munro GT gas shockers, #1 for comfort and safety from $79 a pair. Bosch Super Spark Plugs, 4-pack $9.25, 6-pack just $13.85. Pyroil, the pump 350-gram emergency tyre inflator with bonus tyre shine, only $7.95. Legendary brands at legendary prices, available at all Repco stores.
On Today Tonight, the Adelaide tenant who hasn't paid rent for 10 years.
Call the police. Please go call the police.
She's the owner and wants to sell.
Don't you tell me to get out of this place.
He owes her thousands and refuses to go. 6:30 Monday.
Oh, it's three-quarter time at Shell Stadium in Geelong. 14-6-90 lead Adelaide, 9-13-67. 23 points, as you can see, both sides kicked 3 goals in that quarter, but you must think Adelaide would still be a chance.
7 Sport hope you're enjoying this match as part of the Coca-Cola AFL Premiership Season 2000.
Well, some great highlights in this match. One of them was Matthew Robran's mark. What an absolute specky down in the goal square over Ben Graham. It was a sensational grab. And we'll look at it again on the replay. We can now go down to Dipper.
Yeah, good on you, Hutto. Got Alan McConnell here. Alan, important last goal there by Burns here because it just steered the ship a bit.
Yeah, look, we've been able to do it in each of the last 2 quarters, and it was one of the things we actually focused on before the game is that if there was going to be a goal late in the quarter, it had to be ours.
It's been a long week at Geelong. Can you win this game?
Look, yeah, I think if we can control the midfield, if King can get on top of Ren, he had a bit of an ascendancy early in that last quarter, then I think we can get a result, yeah.
Thanks for joining us, mate. Good luck.
Alan McConnell with Dipper. You can see Carl Steinfort. And let's have a look at what happened to him. That was in the middle of the screen. We might come back to that again a little bit later. But look away if you don't want to know the scores in the Melbourne-Sydney game. If you've got a replay, let's have a look at the scores.
Last term, which would be a fillip for Adelaide fans because I think they've missed Mark Bickley. He's a ball winner and he also is a negator of an opponent who looks dangerous. Wren gets first touch of the ball, but it's gathered here by Scholl. Hand pass out wide to Milburn. Milburn off the left, kicks it out in front of and finds Spriggs. So promising build-up for Geelong. Spriggs wheels around, kicks with the right, in towards full forward. Punch to the base of the pack. Comes out towards Corey. Flying shot at goal by Joel Corey. Has registered the first score of the last term, albeit a behind for the Cats. So David Clark warming the bench at the start of the last term. Bassett goes straight down the ground. Robran flies high, couldn't take the mark. Umpire allows play to go on. Kick forward by Goodwin. In towards half forward. The mark taken by McGregor. Wow. Look at McLeod running beautifully. He should get this. Can he keep running? No, he's going to go back and have a shot at goal. Andrew McLeod. Well, you'd have to think that they've still got some hope because an early goal in the last term here, the margin is 24 points. He can bring it back to 18. We believe even 5, maybe 6 goals is not an ascendancy that can be sat back and defended with any sort of relaxation on behalf of the leading side. So McLeod going for an important shot at goal. Good kick. The goal umpire hasn't moved. Goal to Adelaide.
Catch Walt Disney Pictures' Dinosaur and rush into McDonald's for a chance to win an all-new Honda Odyssey by playing Catch, Match and Win. So get cracking to McDonald's.
There's no better choice when it comes to car insurance.
Just in Robert in the middle of the ground too, Jared.
Well, they're throwing all the big guns in and around the ball, Dipper, and it's worked for them.
Oh, well done, Gary Hocking.
Yeah, outstanding stuff. Joel Corey. Pass was not bad, and Burns.
That was a good mark.
His body work to just hold on there with Hart bearing down. That was fantastic stuff.
But Gary Hocking's preparedness just to hang on to the ball until he could get an effective hand pass away. Looked as though he was locked up, but still forced it forward for Geelong.
Goes short, Burns. Oh, it was okay in the end. Snell on the end of it. Burns must have been confident that he could kick the goal. And a big kick for Jason Snell, who has not kicked a goal today. As we mentioned earlier, has 9 goals for the season.
This has been Adelaide's problem when they've made the surge and got to within a margin that you give them some chance of getting over the top of Geelong. Geelong have been able to go back and answer very quickly.
And that time, it's Jason Snell with the answer.
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the king of the jungle. Watch out! Something funny about this fella.
Because the boy who's never left the jungle.
Oh, you have a dog.
Here comes Shep.
Come on, boy, come on!
That's your dog?
He's heading for the big city.
Of the jungle. Watch out! Something funny about this fella.
Because the boy who's never left the jungle.
Oh, you have a dog.
Here comes Shep.
Come on, boy, come on!
That's your dog?
He's heading for the big city.
George, watch out for that!
For his wildest adventure yet.
Take out the hell! Ah!
In the Disney Network premiere.
George of the jungle. Watch out for that!
Toyota presents George of the Jungle. Sunday on 7.
Hocking again. Back at the centre, Gary Hocking. Another centre clearance affected by the Geelong veteran. Scholl and Scarlett combine. Chance for Corey. Kicks it in towards half forward. Mensch was interfered with, surely. And it's about time the umpires gave a key forward the advantage there because it was a blatant holding on. And it is taken by Houlihan. Sorry, well done, Jared. My mistake there. Houlihan's kick in towards half forward. Bizzle couldn't take it. Robrin left it behind. Hand passed away by Ben Graham. In turn goes wide from Kilpatrick to Houlihan. Shrugs the tackle. Chance for Snell again. Hand pass a bit up and under and not well controlled in the finish under the pressure. Kane Johnson providing that pressure. And it will be thrown in.
Ben Graham, I think he might be tagging Matthew Robrin.
They're spot on there, Anthony.
24 points the margin. Big punch away, wasn't it, by Stengline. Out wide Snell. Just took his eyes off the ball momentarily. Was able to get it away to Spriggs. Spriggs in towards half forward. Punched away by Ben Hart. Gathered by McLeod. Close to the boundary line. Hooks the kick over his left shoulder. Back into the middle. Oh, spectacular leap and mark to Eccles. Third in line. And he's taken it just wide of centre-half back. Can go short. Connell.
25th kick coming up.
Not a bad kick. Out wide, Bassett, who's playing at full back, takes the mark and kicks it in towards full forward. Vardy couldn't take it. Overrunning it, Bickley. In underneath. Back goes in Peter Vardy. McGregor. Brad Scholl appealing to the umpire. But it will be a ball up about 25, 30 metres from the Adelaide goal. Margin 24 points in favour of Geelong. 15-7 to 10-13.
Well, deep in attack, but Steinford trying to change that. Still they're dangerous, and no one more dangerous than that man, McLeod. But he tried to pass it, tried to get Goodwin. Wojcinski, I think it was as far as most of those little short passes that are paid these days, Robbo. And I think sometimes they don't go 10 metres. Young Wojcinski onto the wing. Steinford backing back into the pack. Wren at the front. A wild handball. Johnson couldn't do anything with it. Steinford can. Although, again, some indecision for the Cats.
Big mark this.
King was competitive. Graham it is. But Rodman gets away. And look at him go now. Rodman just went short in the end of Rashudo. Pushing forward Gallagher. Crowd doubles back for a lead. Ignores all those. Now he just sets it up to the square. Wasn't a great kick. Tough for McGregor. And well done, Matthew Scarlett. The ball touched over the line.
Matthew Scarlett on screen. He's effected 5 tackles, which the coaching staff would be happy with, and a smother out on the far side of the ground was terrific. Wren took it out of the air. Still a chance here. Crowell, little hand pass, okay. Vardy run down, should be penalised. Good tackle by Harley. All fair and above board. Locked the Adelaide Crows player up rather effectively, and he's been rewarded with the free kick. Tom Harley kicks it out wide. Robran outpointed on this occasion by Graham. Graham at left half back for Geelong. Should kick the Cats into attack. Goes past the wing. Holding up a little bit. Not able to take it there was Minch. He was under a certain amount of pressure. Only had one arm free in the finish. Umpires decided to bounce just forward of centre wing, favouring Geelong. Geelong 15-7. Adelaide 10-13 margin. 24 points in favour of Geelong. Knocked forward. Spriggs can't break the tackle. Ben Hart gets an effective kick away. Lands the ball at centre wing. Back goes Wojcinski. Eccles, well done by Wojcinski. Backed himself, then bounced the ball and was tackled, so will be penalised. Has to cough the ball up quickly. Eccles, the recipient. Support player is Goodwin. He can swing onto his left and run nearly inside 50 and kick a goal. Simon Goodwin, if you don't mind, folks. Great goal to Goodwin.
It can happen at any time. You're building a bridge or moving a fridge and you feel like you're just gonna burst. You sure got a thirst. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Vic. You're shoveling sand or building a dam. You can get it any old how. Matter of fact, I got it now. Victoria Bitter.
Must give them some real heart. And that's over the shoulder.
Time now for Geelong to respond. The Crows are really finding something, digging deep. And, well, Matty Connell, he's been one of their best players all afternoon.
26 kicks for Connell as he goes to centre-half forward.
The marks are starting to stick, and their good players are playing well.
Shooter.
The Cats need their stars to really find something there.
Well, the forwards came out on strong leads, but
Robran's got to go back and try and take a mark again.
They're ignored. Robran onto the ball has been a very interesting move from Gary Ayres. Rashudo going for the bomb. It's a wobbly one. Right to the square. Is there some holding? No. Play on and Scholl gets it to the line. A desperate smother from the crowd. And they're the sort of things that can really get your team lifting in these crucial stages of this match.
Those have only got 4 goals from their general play. Just sometimes when you see that sort of setup for them, you realise that they haven't got the Ronnie Burns, Crummer, the Phil Matera type to hit the pack.
That almost went through for a goal.
As that hit the post. But I wonder whether that's one of the reasons why they don't get the ball in there as quickly too, just a one-out big guy, because they haven't got that support network down there at ground level as that one nearly.
That was our mate Eccles.
They normally do with Jarman. Obviously, he's out to the side, Jared.
Yeah, but even Darren Jarman doesn't charge through the lines to get to the base of the pack. He creates them himself.
Goes for King. Robran was there to spoil and to recover. And spots up. Had a couple of guys in short. McGregor well tackled. Good disciplined stuff by Geelong. Scholl, nothing much to go for except a one-on-one. Mitch got to the front. Must get a free kick and does.
Was there a push out there, or did he just stand his ground?
Well, we'll have a look at it in a minute. Mench's kick, a wobbly one. McLeod backing back, almost stole it. Not quite. Graham could launch from there. Oh, well smothered by Wren on the rebound. It opens up for the Crows. Caven out wide. The job's ahead of Andrew Eccles here. If he can just get the footy. He shrugs the tackle well. Free kick, high tackle. And again,
a bit of panic set in by Geelong, maybe.
Well, I think they've just got to get back to winning their share of the neutral balls, because it's been all Adelaide at this stage.
Mooney back on the ground, Houlihan off, and great smother there, because Scarlett found himself in the goal square by himself. If Billy Graham got away, would have been a certain goal for the Cats.
So Eccles with Adelaide really pressing, margin just 17, and Eccles has taken a long time.
Well, he's a very talented player, Andrew Eccles. He's had to come back from a knee reconstruction. He's going to be a real star from Adelaide, but he hasn't really had a lot of preparation as far as match time this season.
Well, it's going close. It's going very close. It's a goal.
Participating in the Sydney 2000 Olympic Torch Relay would be a dream come true. Sunday Mail.
Mark Thompson will be aware that 20 minutes into the third quarter, the margin was 37 points to Geelong. Now it's only 11.
Wren got it down when maybe he may have been better advised to take the ball from the ruck contest. Opportunity here for Geelong. Corey, good kick too. Very good kick by a young player. Showed a lot of composure, didn't panic, and has given it to one of his fellow, not debutants, but fellow younger players in Cameron Mooney. Mooney hasn't had much ground time. His first mark, coming up for his first kick. Just jogs in quite nicely and pops it through, and Geelong get the steadier they were looking for.
G'day, Larry.
Hey, morning, Larry.
G'day, Larry. 16-7 103 to 12-14 86. Two of Geelong's youngsters combining to hit back. What'll happen this time? Another of their youngsters driving them forward. Wojcinski's kicked a half forward. A bouncing ball from the Adelaide Crows defence, standing up. That time Edwards really hitting a tough target in McLeod. Floats it back to Edwards. He was a little off balance, but he kept it up. And hand passes to Connell, who'll always kick the ball if he can. But well done, Sanderson, to get to the front against Vardy. Loose ball, scrap. Welsh held without it. Oh, Steinford took him on too. Had to get it to Spriggs cleanly. Did. Oh, he should have handballed to Clark. Now he does. Clark runs into trouble. Oh no, it all opens up here. Goodwin goes for the square. It's vacant, and it's a great kick. It's a great kick by Goodwin.
Second goal in 2 minutes to Simon Goodwin.
When the Geelong players were down and looked up and saw Goodwin and saw what he saw.
Steinford's in trouble, boys, as you see there.
Yep.
Same spot. What a kick. And, well, the pressure was brought to bear. We saw the carnage on the ground there. And Simon Goodwin, he just keeps kicking them through. Clark off the ground, Schnell on. And coming off Carl Steinford, who is going to wake up tomorrow feeling very sick and sorry for himself.
Well, it was David Clark's indiscretion when he actually hung onto the ball. That was the hit on Steinford that led to Carl Steinford coming off the ground. But David Clark...
Bad handball in the end.
It was, wasn't it? He just held onto it and put himself into the predicament which caused the error. McLeod gathers and kicks it high.
in towards half forward. 2 players there for the Cats. Milburn not able to take it. Spillage kicked away by Brad Scholl. Out wide, Edwards gathers. Can he get past? He goes one, then the other. Back onto the right. Kicks it in towards full forward proper. No mark. Crumbs gathered. Very well done by Crowell. Johnson in trouble. Eccles just a little slow. Can the hand pass get out to Welsh? It can. He can't get past. He gets it back in the direction of Johnson. He gathers. Snapshot at goal by Johnson. Well marked back there for Geelong by Tom Harley.
And Eccles is laid out prostrate on the ground.
Oh, well done. Great work, and the ball out of bounds.
17 players now, so they've got to get him off the ground quickly to get an active player onto the field.
Well, they've got to get the stretcher.
Yeah, stretcher's coming out now, Jared.
So that stops play.
Well, that last bit of desperation, I think, from Johnson on the outer side really saved Adelaide, because Geelong had Joel Corey on his own up on the wing.
In a spot of bother, young Andrew Eccles here.
Look at Eccles. There was a lot of bodies collide in that frenetic passage of play, just with the lead up with the Crows trying to get 6 points closer. And,
11 points is the advantage for Geelong. We're watching as the Adelaide training staff. It's Eccles with the ball, taken to the ground by Wojcinski, and maybe his head smashing into the turf. Bang. Yep. Dear me, that can be quite dangerous, Jared, can't it? You know, the head goes forward and it may be a jerk action with the neck.
Well, the problem there was that he didn't have anything to break the fall. His arms were pinned by Wojcinski. It was a pretty savage tackle.
Well, he's conscious.
His head was the first thing that hit the ground.
Straight away that brace goes on. Quite sickening that when you watch it happen.
Well, Carl Steinford in the same spot on the ground, exactly the same thing. So it's a dangerous tackle. And you know yourself, if you're pinned like that, you're really in the lap of the gods as to how you finish up. But he was out cold before he hit the second time. But a big break in play.
Yeah, I wonder what the Cats now getting together there at centre half back for the team meeting.
Well, they've got plenty to talk about. They are under siege, and if they go down here, well, it would they just about tear the stands down. After being in such a commanding position, it's been a great comeback by the Crows. They were as poor as I've seen them for a long time in that first half, without a lot of system, without a lot of desperation. But this has been a tremendous comeback, and I think they would acknowledge the performances of Andrew McLeod and Matthew Robin in particular. 2 players that have just been sensational. Robin, I think, all game, and certainly McLeod since half-time.
Jared, for the first 3 quarters, Geelong went into their forward 50 more times than Adelaide. 19 to 10 in the first quarter, 16 to 10 in the second, 15 to 12 in the third. In this last quarter, Adelaide have gone in 11, Geelong only 5.
Well, they've just dominated through the middle of the ground. They're the ones with the run. I think Simon Goodwin's another one who we should make mention too, because not only has he kicked a couple of vital goals, but he's had plenty of possessions himself, starting to rack them up now. I think also Cavan onto
I think
bench.
that was a very important thing that you picked up in the third term.
Well, Bigland's just, I don't think, has had the experience, and maybe just isn't suited to that key position play, particularly when a side is having the run on that Geelong did. He looks to me like he's maybe a tall marking forward, or perhaps the ruckman. He's done pretty well this season in those positions. But you're one out and you're pretty exposed down there when the ball's coming down, and David Mensch had too much talent for him, but that certainly stiffened them up in defence.
Why wouldn't that stretcher now go off straight off
the umpires directed them to go straight to the race. So,
but you can't continue play, really, can you, until that stretcher disappears down the race. Whereas if they'd have taken it off the ground back there where the young fellow was taken to the ground, maybe play could go on.
I guess they don't want the risk.
I've just spoken to the emergency umpire. They've got to go directly from where the incident happens straight off the race if the stretcher comes out.
All right, thanks, Dip.
Well, the ball's going to be thrown in about 30 metres around from from Adelaide's goal.
There's been a change made in defence. Ronnie Burns has now got a new opponent. in young Gallagher. So what a task for him. Buddha Hocking's gone to full forward. He's got Ben Hart. Bench is still with Caven.
We know that Buddha's kicked a couple of match-winning goals this year for the Cats in tight situations. So 9 minutes remaining as we restart at Shell Stadium. King versus Wren. Vardy just flicked it out. Johnson. And close to the line. Somehow got back to Vardy, and Johnson on the end of it has kicked it. He's kicked it. Oh, what a game now.
2 days to go for the season final of TV's best drama.
We rest on the heist now.
3 powerful cases.
You have no idea.
And 1 shocking twist.
Is she pregnant? Do you want to get married?
The Practice season final, Monday.
Wednesday, Thursday and Friday at 5 o'clock. Saturday at 5:30. Follow The Flame live as it makes its way through South Australia.
Join the 7 News and Today Tonight team and follow The Flame live to the Adelaide Town Hall from Wednesday on 7.
Well, there's the goal kicker, Kane Johnson.
He started from outside of the 50 to hit that ball, Robbo.
And he kept going too, didn't he? Which was great discipline provided there by Johnson. That's all you can rely on now. If you're in the coach's box, you've just got to rely on all the preparation throughout the weeks and weeks of training that these players undergo.
Who's on the bench for both sides there, Dipper?
I'll catch up with that one.
Well, Geelong go forward. Connell, he could be run down by Burns. Spillage gathered by Gallagher, but the umpire saw that as illegal.
Maybe they've got to put Burns onto the ball, the Cats, because they're just getting no ball out of the centre at all.
Very important here. Possessions in the middle of the ground. Geelong have got the ball. Hand pass.
Well done,
Hocking, terrific. Vision, preparedness to sacrifice. Mooney, back to Snell, coughs it up, kicks it straight to Robber and win. It's important that Geelong keep possession of the ball. Adelaide may make them suffer. They've led this game. They've been under control for the most part of it. But right now, Geelong lead by less than a goal. So Adelaide go forward. If they get the goal, they get the lead. Gallagher through the middle. Coughs it up. Kicks it straight to Spriggs. Marks in the middle of the ground. Goes out wide. Edwards in front. Mark not taken. Bizzle. Bassett over the top. Umpire sees that all fair and above board. That lady there doesn't see it too fair. Because she's getting excited.
Jeff Geeshan said they only wanted the free kicks paid when the grandmothers in the stand could see them. Well, I reckon, Hutto, that one would apply.
I thought you were going to say she was a grandmother there.
No. It's a fair chance she may be, Robert.
Jerry, just to let you know, the benches for Geelong, we've got Clark, McGrath, Steinford and Ling. And for Adelaide, obviously, Smart out, Bickley's on the ground, Eccles in the rooms and Biglands.
McLeod. And here it goes for Adelaide. Their chance to go into attack and into the lead if they kick a goal here. Rashudo just trying to keep it moving.
Goodwin again.
Goodwin again. And this time he's missed. He's missed a few today. In fact, he's kicked, 2 goals, 4.
But they have got the players running through the lines. Johnson and Goodwin really have given them that extra flow. McLeod has given them the supply with Robrin. And they just look a far more dangerous side. Here we go again. Goodwin just running through the lines. And they look a different side when they're not as static across half forward.
King the target, got there too late. Mark Pay to Connell.
He's played a terrific game, hasn't he?
28 kicks coming up for Matthew Connell. Outstanding performance. He's taken 12 marks in all of that too. He'll unload a real high ball. The pressure on Welsh. Stenglein from the side. No one could mark it. Look at Johnson coming. Well done, Wojcinski. Shaw will concede. He just got it over the line. 6 minutes remaining. It's a nail-biter.
I just wonder whether Ben Graham should just abandon play from picking up Robin and go back to full-back. He's not getting a lot of possessions around the ground, and it was such a tight game.
He swallowed some of the Cardinia Park turf there.
Yeah, he's not well, is he?
Well, I reckon that should have been a free kick. No score. Yep. You watch what happens. Bradshaw, in his desperate efforts to try and make sure that it was a rush behind, he just got... Well, the 2 players, watch this, the 2 players are not going for the ball. Bang.
Play's gone on, meantime, on the outer side. And Connell it is again, emerging with it. So 3 points the difference. Connell Up to centre-half forward, and that's a good mark by Gray.
They're taking the stretcher out, Geelong is.
The one player down. Surely they've got to stop the play.
Well, he's over the line at the moment, though. If they keep him over the line and put a player on or win the stretcher out.
Well, player's been allowed to go on, and a free kick has been paid to David Mensch, and now the umpire will stop play.
But the trainer's gone around the ground, not through the ground, as he's seen the stretcher now.
I'm not sure that matters. I think once the stretcher's out there, even if it is...
The emergency umpire's just come out to point to the central umpire that the stretcher's out, so... Well, it's worked for Geelong. They've maintained possession, and it was a pretty smart kick of Ben Graham's. Unfortunately, he stayed back, given that he kicked the ball out from fullback.
But Shaw's not on the ground, and with the stretcher going around the ground, he's legally he can come back on, but well, he doesn't look that good.
His legs look a little ordinary, Dip.
Exactly right. I mean, they should just put a player on and keep him off the bench. There's only 5 minutes to go.
Well, once they brought the stretcher out, he can't come on anyway.
No, he's gone.
He won't be anyway.
Who's available down there, Dipper?
Well, at the moment, we've got Clarkey, McGrath, Steinford. Now, Steinford's was knocked out before. He's been up and down the ground, so one of those 3 players will come on.
And is Tim McGrath injured at all? Because he hasn't seen much going on.
No, he's not, Gerard. And
he'll come on, you'd think.
Well, maybe they'll go with him or the fresh or the legs of Clark, but Cameron Ling is the other option.
He looked as though he was eager to get out there.
To get out there.
They might restructure and bring Ling on. So this is going to end up a very late finish here at Shell Stadium. It's about 22 minutes to 5 local time.
Cameron Ling will be replacing Scholl.
Who would you have your money on at this stage, Gerard?
Well, I think that you'd go with Geelong, given that it is their home ground, but they're going to have to produce something extraordinary because obviously the Crows have had all the momentum. But they are an enormously difficult side to beat down here, and they've had so many players just not get near the footy in this last quarter that you'd reckon that the tide has got to change for them at some stage and give them some chances.
Well, we're well into time on, but we've seen Eccles taken off the ground on a stretcher, which held up play for quite a while. Now we watch Brad Scholl taken from the ground on a stretcher, which was held up play again.
I reckon Ben Graham's moving up to full forward now to keep an eye on him. He's probably taking him off the ball now and gone to full forward.
There's 6 minutes left.
Well, one thing in Geelong's favour is David Mensch has the footy. Graham makes a lead, and Mensch doesn't go for it. Goes across, looking for Mooney. Yes, he holds on to it. Good mark, and then it wasn't a badly placed kick, but it wasn't perfect. And Mooney used his strength, and he had some injuries earlier in the year, and it looks like he's used that time to really get into the weights, and the benefits of it showing there.
You can't hope for perfect in a situation like this, Otto. That's as good as you're going to get, and that's a good mark.
And I reckon that was a deliberate kick by David Mensch.
Let's see if Mooney can convert. No, he won't with that kick. Right across the face.
Still alive.
But it's not now. Sean Wren takes the mark. So disappointing result for Cameron Mooney.
There's a chance. There's a chance for Adelaide here. McGregor marks the Ben Hart kick. Got the handball away. Brett James back to McGregor. McConnell, kick number 30. Bit of an up and under, and getting back. The skipper for Geelong. On the far side of the ground, David Mensch. He won't miss him. This bloke can kick 40 metres with precision under any circumstances. Mensch to Gary Hockey. Gary Hockey, get back stem line and make a contest. He does, and does well. Spriggs, he's got the football, allowed to play on. Back to Houlihan. Houlihan, kick smothered off the boot. Peter Caven throws it onto his boot. Kicks it down towards half forward. Good contest here at Milburn and Rashudo. Milburn's kick, not bad under the circumstances. Maybe the hand pass was on, but certainly kicked the ball and found touch.
No, it was a great passage of play. Should have gone to the handball, but Milburn won an important ball with Rashudo. And, well, the next 5 minutes could well determine the seasons for both these sides.
Absolutely. There's that much on the line at Shell Stadium. 4 minutes remaining. The quarter has gone 30 minutes, but we've had a lot of interruptions, so we're looking at something like a 36, 37-minute quarter here. And Geelong hanging on by 3 points. In the last quarter, Geelong have kicked 2 goals, 1, and the Adelaide Crows They've kicked 5 goals, 3. Wren has had an influence today. Stenglein. All fumbles absolutely vital. Swing and a miss. Play on, said the umpire. And it's carried out of bounds. 3 minutes 48.
Henry McLeod just telling his players, just kick the damn thing.
Well, they can't afford to let him get hold of it.
Lots of space their way if they get Wren to get a big punch on it, which they do, and there's no one in
Here's the bloke
space.
that's going to win the game for Adelaide.
McLeod streaming into attack, sets it up towards full forward. Sanderson over the top. Harley well wrapped up by Crow. Just got rid of it in time. Was that a throw? No. Said the
Yes, it was.
right in front of him. Milburn cleared it out wide. Rasudo running around, trying to find space. Long bomb. Welsh couldn't get it. Wojcinski was the hero and threw 4 behind. 2 points the difference at Shell Stadium. It's been an amazing match. The Adelaide Crows coming at the Cats in this last quarter. They haven't been in front since the 9-minute mark of the first term. Geelong led by 28 at the main break. But now it's just 2 points the difference, 16-7 to 14-17.
Geelong 37 points in front at one stage in the third term. The kick-in has been coughed up. Edwards couldn't take it. They've got 3-on-1. Chance for McLeod. Umpires see the free kick, deemed as a throw. Umpiring decisions favouring the Cats. Milburn goes out wide. King has made good position on centre wing. Some anxiety on the faces of all supporters now. Adelaide making the surge. Can they get up? Geelong, can they hang on? 2 points the margin. 2 3/4 minutes left. The kick by Kilpatrick. No mark. McGregor. Ball spills. Still McGregor in the action. Tough effort there by Caven, but he's dragged to the ground by the Geelong players. Cameron Ling and his teammate there. Looks like it might be young Corey.
Now have a look at this. Some controversial, I'm sure, about this. Some controversy, I should say. Mark Nash played the throw against the Crows, and yet he let that one go. So I'm sure there's going to be a bit of discussion about that in the post-mortem.
Well done by Milburn. Knocked it forward. Connell tackled by Corey. Ben Hart. Kilpatrick gets his foot to it. Floating punt kick. Geelong mark. Can we see it? No. It bounces back. Favours Adelaide. Well done by Spriggs. Can he get a shot at goal? No, he gets it back to Corey. The youngsters! Spriggs and Corey! Goal to Geelong! That will break the deadlock here at Shell Stadium. There's still 2 minutes left. But that goal kicked by Joel Corey after receiving the hand pass from David Spriggs. 2 of the youngsters. What a great effort by 2 young players in their infancy from AFL point of view.
Yes, it was exciting stuff by 2 kids that are just both talented players. And it was such an important intercept because they were away, the Crows. They had numbers everywhere in the free space down the middle.
So much at stake and this game's still alive. The Cats, though, suddenly with the momentum, suddenly doing the things they weren't doing. King, get the handball through. Hocking, Spriggs, the hero of the moment, drives it long. And there's a good mark. And it's taken by Hart. 1 minute 40 on the clock and counting down. McLeod, he has been sensational since half-time, particularly in this last quarter. Gets them moving up onto the wing. 1 minute 30 on the clock now. Gallagher takes the mark. Every kick counts. He kicked to a lot of players. Cats getting numbers across half-back. Graham almost falling over. Harley, no one to go but to Corey. Got to take the mark. It'll be hard. He couldn't take it. It's alive for Adelaide. Bassett well wrapped up. Here's Edwards. Edwards drives it long. 1 minute 10 on the clock. Robin is a thumping kick. But they have to score 2 goals, Adelaide, to win. They have to score twice. It's a big booming kick. Welsh right on the line. Touched. And it's a behind. So you would think unlikely now with 55 seconds to go. But 7 points is the margin and you never know.
Well, will he go short? Less than a minute left. I'd kick this as far as I possibly could. I'd try and break the record.
He did the opposite.
Unbelievable.
Well, it's a matter of time wasting now for
just
Geelong.
hanging on to the ball.
Absolutely.
Well, they need to get another option in here. He's taken a long time.
Well, he can take as long as it takes for the umpire to blow his whistle now.
Houlihan was a short option then, but he decided not to kick across goal, which was probably pretty smart. He's wasted about 15 seconds off the clock, so he's done really well.
33 seconds left. Mark to Adelaide, Wren. So Sean Wren will kick Adelaide to within scoring range. Kick into the pocket, player on his own, not able to get to it, and that may have been Johnson, taken away by Graham. Graham kicks it long on this occasion, back to the wing. Ling, well done in front of Ben Hart, and if you can beat Ben Hart in a one-on-one, you've done pretty well.
Yes, I've got a lot to look forward to, Cat supporters. Ling is just one.
There's the siren. Geelong have won by 7 points. Geelong have won this match when they were challenged by Adelaide and challenged ferociously in the finish, but not able to come up with the score. Adelaide on this occasion, Geelong win by 7 points. Geelong 17-7, 109. Adelaide 14-18, 102. And they would be a very relieved bunch as Dipper
I'll ask
speaks to
him,
Stephen
are
King.
you very relieved there after that silent win?
Oh, very relieved. Dipper, worked hard all day, and they're always dangerous. The Crows when they get a run on, and just to hang on is great.
It's been a long week at Geelong this week, but certainly the challenge was there for you.
Real long week, Dipper, but we just couldn't wait to get back on it today, and the boys proved themselves again.
Obviously, the first half you had control of the game, but you knew that Adelaide were always going to come back at you.
Yeah, they've got the calibre of players, Dipper, to come back, and it's just great to hold on. So
you're all fired up, mate. Go enjoy the boys. Well done.
Well, Stephen King had a big influence at times, and then Sean Wren had an influence later in the game. So it was a great battle all over the ground today. The Cats getting home 17-7, 109 to Adelaide's 14-18, 102. Geelong by 7.
We all know how important the Rocket brothers are to the Magpies. Can you remember what happens next?
Of course, not a good kick to Shaw, to Francis. Goes for goal with a high one. Good kick, great kick.
Yep, the big Sav is about to show some skills. If you know what happened next, then call, and you could win these great prizes.
A trip for two to the UK for the AFL Tour and $3,000 spending money, a $5,000 Mitre 10 voucher, and an autographed Club 10 jumper.
Have you ever got your car back from a repairer only to find it wasn't quite right? They may not have done what they said they would, or they may have just done a bad job for which you paid good money. If your repairer isn't the genuine article, change to one that is. Good repairers are recognised by signs, such as this one at the front of their workshop. Look for the RAA approved repairer sign.
When you sleep better, you dream better. Sleepmaker, what dreams are made of.
A&R are having a store-wide stock take sale, and prices are
low, low, low. On printers, on books, on software from $11. Cartridges, papers, desks from $89. Chairs, modems from $69. Joysticks, blank CDs, scanners from $99. CD burners, speakers from $14.95. On wheels, on computers from $15.99. Prices are at all-time low for the A&R stock take sale.
on now at Port Adelaide and Melrose Park.
Some of my mates want to know why I'm not driving a two-door sports car. Well, that's because this new Kia Rio has 4 doors. And a hatch.
Hello.
The new 4 or 5 door Kia Rio from
$14,990.
With cars, it's personal. Girls, wait.
Somewhere on the streets of Australia,
Here, come here.
innocent bystanders are falling victim
You a single lady?
to a rather peculiar cuteness.
Single chicks. Did you get a patch? Oh, we've been looking for dates.
Street Bait, Sunday, 7:30 on 7. Sunday, Greg's in for quite a shock
Surprise.
when Dharma replaces her things with his.
I love this thing.
A hit for some, but not with Mum.
I think it's evil.
Dharma and Greg, Sunday at 8 on 7.
Well, a thrilling finish at Cardinia Park, Shell Stadium. The Cats getting home. Gary Ayres, not a happy return for him to his old coaching ground, his old stamping ground, and the crowd giving it to him as he left Shell Stadium and made his way back into the rooms. And this is why. The Adelaide Crows were sensational in the last quarter, the last part of the third quarter, really. They came at the Cats, but Geelong 17-7, 109. In the end, fortune probably favoured them in the end. And the Cats getting home, largely due to their goal kickers, Ronnie Burns and David Mensch, who kicked 4, and Clint Bizzle 3. And you can see how Adelaide shared it around. Important one down the bottom, though, Simon Goodwin, 2 goals 4 he finished with. Jared, as we wrap up, what was a frenetic finish to the match, wasn't it?
Yeah, no doubt, Hutto. It was a fantastic game. I mean, I thought midway through the third quarter it was just starting to really fade into almost boredom, and then McLeod and Robin sparked the return.
Some interesting incidents. One of them we showed you earlier. Let's have another look at it. Carl Steinfort. You can just see in the middle of screen how he went down. They seemed to be going down like 9 pins, didn't they, actually, throughout the game. We can have a look at another couple of injuries as well, with Brad Scholl and also Andrew Eccles going down. This is Eccles.
Yeah, they're almost exactly the same. The Steinfort tackle and that one there with Andrew Eccles just hitting his head on the ground. I mean, there's not a lot you can do. There was nothing vicious about it. And this one here, well, there was a lot of discussion about it afterwards, and it was just, I guess, a product of the desperation of the moment, and that it was. It was just a desperation, a desperate point of the match, Hutto, and it was incredible how it finished.
It was a tough one, and how did you see the votes for the Mitsubishi Motors Player of the Year?
Well, look, you could have given them to half a dozen players, but I thought Matthew Robin, one of a few fourth-quarter players. Gary Hocking, he was sensational three-quarter time, a bit quiet after that. And David Mensch, I thought, perhaps the best, most effective big man on the ground.
We'll take a break from Shell Stadium and be back shortly.
This match in the 2000 AFL season, proudly brought to you by The Advertiser, fresh from the field. Sip and Save. Ultratune, in tune with you and your car. Medibank Private. Coca-Cola, get caught red-handed. Mitre 10. And RAA Insurance, pay monthly and avoid one big hit.
This news update brought to you by Colonial's personal insurance portfolio.
Good afternoon. Coming up at 6 on 7 News, the SNFL reveals how they're going to make football parks safe again for families to go to the footy after a youngster found and pricked himself with a used syringe. Those details for all of those going to the game there tomorrow. Also at 6, the great comeback of Pat Rafter. He's into the final of Wimbledon. And what about these? They'll put a spring in your step. Rocket boots to launch you along at 50 kilometres an hour. We'll have the details at 6 in 7 News.
Going, Dolly? Good. Every time you have a beer, the treasurer takes his share in excise.
Hey, did you watch the footy the other night?
Yeah, what a great game.
So close.
But watch out, he's about to help himself to almost twice as much excise when GST comes in. Double the excise,
Believe it.
plus GST.
He didn't think you'd notice.
Don't let him get away with it. Shout your protest now. Authorised by Walter Buno for the Australian Associated Brewers, Sydney.
Introducing my new Thai chicken.
Tender, juicy chicken pieces marinated in the delicate spices of Thailand with just a hint of chili. The Colonel's Thai Chicken.
Try some today.
We may bid the mob good day.
No other four-wheel drive has brought so many Australians back from wherever they ventured.
G'day.
Land Cruiser, king off the road.
Sunday, July 30, Clipsal Powerhouse. Talent like you've never seen before takes centre stage. It's the Camry Crows Westpac Players Concert. These Hollywood hopefuls will show you just why they make better footballers and entertainers. Get along and be part of the fun by booking your tickets through VenueTix.
I remember sitting in school, my last couple of classes, I used to get butterflies just thinking, you know, I've got training tonight. You know, I had heroes in Dermot Brereton's and Matthew Larkin.
Got a big 3 of them and he has!
Really make every opportunity count.
Sensational play by the skipper.
To win as many premierships possible. North Melbourne players are closer than any other side. Fairly competitive as far as golf's concerned. Obviously the 98 losing grand final. The 2 winning grand finals that I've played in. You know, it's very important to really enjoy it.
Magnificent! What a goal!
4 fish, 12 prawns, 12 calamari. It's gotta be Barnacle Bill. Now just $21. And yes, from the Cheesecake Shop. Yours free. It's gotta be Barnacle Bill.
Over 500,000 beer drinkers have already registered their protest. If you haven't, call 1-800-555515 or sign the petition at your local. Because if we all shout, the government has to listen. Authorised by Walter Buno for the Australian Associated Brewers, Sydney.
This match in the 2000 AFL Premiership season, proudly brought to you by The Advertiser. Fresh from the field.
Good afternoon. Stay with us here on 7 as the football continues with highlights for another match played today at the MCG where Melbourne hosted Sydney. Your commentators are Drew Morford, Kevin Bartlett and Doug Hawkins, and we pick it up at the opening bounce.
And we get underway in the middle as Stafford faces White. White gets it going Melbourne's way, and that could be a high tackle. Well, McDonald was saying to the umpire, I've copped it right across the chops. Nothing for that. Umpire said, get on with it, son. So we have a secondary bounce. White might have got a hand to it. McPherson in there for the Swans, though. McDonald recovered pretty quickly. His kick up towards the 50. Punched away from Farmer, who is the dynamo. Look out, here's Jeffrey. Clever little kick out wide to Woden. Close to the line. And eventually worked out.
And young Brad Green is lined up at full forward too, Richard, and we saw him do so well coming off the bench against the Kangaroos. He's a very impressive young player, the young man from Tasmania. And also Paul Kelly has been picked up by Whelan. So that's a tough assignment for Whelan in his first year of AFL football with the inspirational Kelly, who's virtually lined up at full forward. Goods. Been so good again this year. The Norwich Rising Star goes short. They'll share the ball around. Creswell goes very, very short, still inside the centre square and finds Luff, who was named at full back. He's been caught, pulled off the ball. Woden shares the ball with Nicholson. Centre square, Powell. Been so good this year since coming across from the Bulldogs. McDonald. The Swans have been good over the last couple of weeks. They've certainly gone up a cog. Coming away from the half-back line. And crunch. Kicked off the ground by McDonald. Taken away by McPherson. Edge of the centre square finds Fosdyke. So there's been some positional changes. He was named as rover. He's lined up on the half-back flank. Pumps the ball back towards centre-half forward. Lewis will be the target. Ingerson, the big thump from behind. Clever play by O'Loughlin. Luff shares the ball around. Creswell back to Fosdyke. Comes all the way down from half-back. Kelly looks dangerous. He's got it.
But there's no doubt, KB, if the Swans can get enough of the ball inside the forward 50, they've certainly got the talent down there to score. When you look at Dale Lewis, Paul Kelly, who's just taken that fine mark, Michael O'Loughlin and Adam Goods.
Well, he's a mighty player, isn't he, Paul Kelly? We saw when he came back playing against West Coast, he took that great mark. Freo it was, in fact, against Freo over in Perth. And here he is lining up and kicks the first goal. Is it touched off the boot? It was touched on the man on the mark. He put it straight through the centre, but terrific umpiring there and close umpiring, because straight away it was indicated by Brett Rosebery that the ball was touched from the man on the mark.
Yeah, he did get extremely close. I was going to make the comment that he got very close to the man on the mark, and therein lied the downfall. He's obviously just chipped it into his fingers, and what looked like a certain goal is been put down as a point.
Adam Uze kicks in for the Demons. Straight up the centre to Jeff White, who marks at centre half-back. Away to Ragoni. Out wide to the wing. That's great movement of the ball by the D's. Here's Robertson. Game 50 today. Centres the ball inside centre half forward, but Seymour, excellent mark, running back in the same direction as the ball. Up short to Luff. It was a late inclusion last week and has kept his place in the side this week. Kicked by Troy Luff to centre half forward. Kelly sets again. Oh! Almost another great mark. Comes to O'Loughlin. Oh, out wide he goes. Well played, Stafford. Wasn't the most perfect kick of all time, but he's got a weak Greg Stafford. 55 metres from goal. In low to McPherson. He worked his man under it. Goods. McPherson still a chance. Goods off the ground. O'Loughlin. And the ball out of bounds in the left forward pocket. Sydney a point. Melbourne yet to score. Adam Goods is the leading goal kicker for the Swans this year, sharing that with O'Loughlin. Would you believe they've only kicked 17 in 17 rounds?
And a wasted opportunity there by Adam Goods. Just couldn't bend down, couldn't take the ball cleanly. Bit unusual for the young man. White shares the ball around with Uze to Walsh. Streaming out of defence is Whelan. Got the job playing on Kelly, goes wide and finds Green, who lined up at full forward. Now a change has been made with Schwartz going to full forward. So Neil Danaher, some quick moves. Here's Schwartz out in front. Second grab, couldn't take it. Schauble was the tackler. Now he may have got a free, either in the back or maybe just holding on. Bit of both.
Held was the signal.
It's been very good for the Swannies this year too, Andrew Schauble, since coming over from Collingwood.
Big kick by Schwartz. The distance is there, not the accuracy, and through for one behind.
David Schwartz tossed the coin today for the Demons in the absence of David Neitz. So a point each. Next comes in short. Schwartz. Can the Swans make the finals for the 5th year in a row? They've set themselves a task. They've lost 5 games by under 10 points. Luff, slow to work it out. Sorry, it's Maxfield. Kick by Maxfield is perfect. Why not wait the extra few seconds if you can deliver it that well? Seymour to Kelly. Isn't he contesting? You wouldn't know he had a kneecap injury that threatened his career, let alone his season. Here he goes again, Captain Courageous, but the whistle's gone. A holding infringement, a Melbourne free kick. And you can tell there are a lot of Sydney Swans fans here because they're hooting blue murder as Kelly was running towards goal.
And he can jump, Paul Kelly. He's got those long arms. I like their forward line. O'Loughlin, Goods, Kelly and Lewis. It's very, very dangerous. They've started well against Melbourne. They'll be favourites to win this game. Maxfield has been good across half-back in recent weeks. Fosdyke comes away. Fearless pumps the ball wide and finds O'Loughlin. Long way out in front of Gurgic to Creswell. Just keeps on winning the ball. Edge of the centre square. Kelly is going to be the target every time they come inside 50. Been trapped. Lewis tries to keep the ball alive. Walsh. He's been a star this year. He's got dancing feet. Under pressure, Whelan crunched that time by O'Loughlin. Ragoni goes to ground. Swans going in hard. Shoveled out that time by Luff. Lewis needs a kind bounce and clean hands. Goes to ground. And he's been given a free kick by the umpire off the ball. Too high.
Well, we just saw there KB.
Here's Kelly again. Couldn't take it. Second grab. Johnston. Trying to really cement a spot in this Melbourne lineup. Wobbled the ball forward and finds McDonald.
Well, Kelly's taken one mark, but he's had about 3 other chances. White dodges around Schwartz. In short to Farmer. The Wizard, 50 metres out. This will test him for distance. Will he try to get around Matthews? Schwartz trying to get clear of Schauble. Farmer, very high, and he hooked it. In the field of play. Stafford gets back to take the mark. Pretty comfortable in the end. Working it out. McPherson draws a man over the top. Fosdyke has started well, Nick Fosdyke. Up towards centre wing. That's a poor old kick. Luckily, though, it bounces off Ingerson out of bounds, but the umpire ruled it was above the knee, and it's going to be a throw-in. And the crowd who are in that vicinity cannot believe that decision. That is dead set, off the shin, out of bounds on the full. That should be a free kick.
Powell tried to squeeze out the handball. Goods to Swash. Close to the line. Creswell continues to rack up possessions. Coming out of game was Kelly with Whelan. And going over the line is McPherson.
Since Paul Kelly's been good early. Drew, you've mentioned a few times about just the way he's attacking the ball and jumping. I remember after I had a knee reconstruction, I didn't jump for a mark for about 2 years, so it's just phenomenal.
They've played nearly 8.5 minutes, and it's just one behind each. So quite low scoring. Cross half back. It's been held up at both ends of the ground.
KB, just on Paul Kelly, he's not a noted goal kicker though, playing a full forward, so they don't look dangerous enough with him playing a full forward, probably there in the half-forward flank where he can run inside 50 to kick goals.
Looks a dangerous forward line though. I just mentioned Troy Luff also down there. Has kicked 7 or 8 goals in a league game. Adam Goods, as we know, is very dangerous. Here's Kelly again. He'll be exhausted before this quarter's out. Uze has pounced on it. He's had a magnificent season. The kick's a poor one. And McPherson marks in front of Robertson.
Just a ground level here, KB. That's very open game here. Playing very wide of each other.
McPherson, 4 possessions early. Creswell across the ground to Seymour at centre half back. Stafford near the cricket wicket area. A little bit of a downtime recently. Stafford's kick straight to centre half forward. It's punched away. And Schauble had gone for it. I couldn't believe my eyes that he was down there. Comes to Nix. Not a bad kick. Goods.
He's a good player, isn't he? Adam Goods. I know it's a pun, but he's very good.
I'm just watching Andrew Schauble. He's walking back to his position. He's come from full back up, and he was in the contest at centre half forward.
Yeah, Anthony Ingerson not too happy with the treatment that Adam Goods gave him then, trying to win the favouritism from the umpire, but very smart. He waited for that ball to be within distance and just gave a slight nudge out. Nothing wrong with that.
Looking for the first goal of the game, Adam Goods. Didn't really penetrate, but it's straight enough for a goal.
Well, we all know how talented Adam Goods is, current recipient of the Norwich Rising Star Awards. So you'll just see her in replay as it comes along. That was Andrew Schwab, as you said, run well from deep in defence. Matthew Nix, just a smart little chip kick here. And Adam Goods just smart enough to nudge Ingerson out the last minute, take a beautiful mark, and finishes off with a nice goal.
Adam Goods, 32 goals for the season. Such an important game for Sydney. If they want to keep in touch with the top 8 or chance to be there, been there the last 4 years, they need to win today. And Melbourne looking for that top 4 spot. Uze to McDonald. Melbourne midfield's been very good. Goes wide. Farmer's the target. Playing in front of Crouch. Such an important player, Jeff Farmer.
Well, at that ball up, Schwartz had moved up the ground and Schauble had gone with him, so Farmer was virtually the full forward in the goal square, being picked up by Crouch.
Well, they've had 3 full forwards and the game's been going 11 minutes because Green definitely started full forward, then Schwartz and now Jeff Farmer. So it's a rotating forward line for the Demons. Schwartz with strength, gets it to Woden, needs clean hands, does well to McDonald, should run in, should kick a goal. Melbourne's first on the board.
One of the last great war secrets revealed. 20 million in gold, 3 miles down to the bottom. The breathtaking premiere special. Search for the submarine I-52 tonight.
The makers of this here,
Seriously fruity.
have asked us to come on your television set and talk to you about this here new jam.
Seriously fruity.
It's got more of all the things you love about jam. 35% more fruit.
Yeah.
More fruit chunks.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, a fruitier taste and all.
Yeah.
What's funny about that?
Nothing. This is serious.
Yes.
Seriously fruity. So much fruit it's not funny.
may bid the mob good day.
No other four-wheel drive has brought so many Australians back from wherever they ventured.
G'day.
Land Cruiser, king off the road.
It's the wildest show on wheels. Be trackside for the Super Truck Spectacular this Sunday when the big rigs come out to play at Mamala Raceway. Catch round 3 of the Continental Tyres National Series. There's New Zealand's Inky Tulloch, Robbie Russell, Glenn Dobson, Luke Cedars, Rodney Crick, plus John Bob Early and all the prime movers. There's the ground-pounding Great V8s in the Australian Sports Sedan Championship and a big support program. The Super Truck Spectacular, 10 a.m. this Sunday at Mamala Raceway. It's a must.
We've got a huge backyard out the back there. We've got the off-street parking. Did I mention the polished floorboards? Of course, there's also the beautiful open living areas. They've got a wonderful kitchen. Oh, yes, let's not forget the natural gas central heating. Now, the lucky person that purchases this property today, I can assure you, yes, we'll get to the bidding in a moment, sir.